Good morning. I'll call the budget hearings back to order here this morning, August 22nd, 2025. So at this point, we are open for discussion. I think we've been through all the budgets from our department heads, so now we need to probably go through and start trimming what you want to trim and go from there. Okay.
It's something that's getting old, and I spoke to a fellow county councilman from another county and asked him how much their overtime was, and he said it was $139,000. And well, I told him ours was approaching $550,000 to $600,000. He about spit to the phone, couldn't believe how it was getting out of hand. I don't know if we need to hire a professional scheduler to help these people figure out their schedules so we don't have so much overtime, or what we need to do, but this is not sustainable to keep growing. I mean, if you look at the time period, how fast this overtime has just exploded, it's not going to be sustainable. I mean, like next year, you'll be pushing $700,000, and we need to cut. Well, EMS is the worst one. When you figure that one per person, it comes out to $15,500 per person. You could easily hire 2 more paramedics and keep on staff and cut people's overtime and save money.
The trouble is,
We can hire professionals. Don't tell me you can't figure out with 14, 15 people, you can't cover the shit. I mean, I think you can be done. I really do.
the trouble we've always had, paramedics, is finding the paramedics in Worcester County. I don't know how to argue with you. And you sit with the EMS and see the problem. I agree with you 100%. The trouble is, you can't match. But then on the other thing, we got other problems with the EMS. That's my personal opinion. And with inflation today, now, I agree, we needed to take it over from what Knox County was doing. The trouble is, we didn't set it up right. But today, the cost that we're facing, we was at 1.1 when we started, we're at 1.9. You don't have the money to keep up with it.
Yeah.
It's sucking you dry. And overtime, I can't disagree with you. I mean, you're right. We got too many hidden factors. In your business, you couldn't operate like this. You get rid of it. Right now, I was talking last night. It's a dead horse.
Right.
We got so many dead horses, and we're not doing nothing, and we're seeing it come at us, but we're not addressing the issue.
I think we gotta address it.
No, I can't. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, there are a bunch of people on here listening for you, and,
I'm sorry.
oh, yeah.
But at this point, I gotta think. I mean, I watched you guys yesterday, last night, when I got back after I woke up. I don't know what the answer is, but when you got X amount of dollars, and my biggest fear, I'll tell you, is this SB1. And I know some of you are not concerned about it. I mean, I'm over concerned. What we've got now in a shortfall, where are we going to be? And when you get overtime, and you look at the people that's involved, yeah, they want to make money. Like I think this morning, our jobs are important jobs. Everybody in this county has got an important job, from the auditor to the treasurer to EMS to the sheriff. But sometimes I don't know that we can pay, and I look at this report here about other county pays. I don't know that we have enough money to do that, to be compliant. But you look at the population, we've got the same problems that all the other counties got. Do you get to make what a doctor makes?
No.
And nothing against the doctor, nothing against you. But sometimes we can't afford the same as others.
And I understand the concern about we're not sure about what SB 1 is gonna do. But on top of that, it doesn't change, it's not sustainable. And so then if we are concerned about our money from SB 1, then why would we just continue the process and enable a process that the overtime is gonna keep going up? We've gotta figure out something to change that trajectory.
Well, and I don't think it's responsible to the taxpayers. I mean, you're just opening up the checkbook and they're setting their schedule, so they automatically build in overtime, and that's not fiscally responsible, sustainable, you know.
Well, Brent is not gonna have any less overtime until he gets a full staff. And I don't know why they don't, I don't know, I think he's 2 people short now. I don't know why I can't get them, I don't.
But it could still be scheduled. You
Yeah.
tell me with the number of employees that he has, that he still can't fill the schedule and not work overtime. It can be done. It can be done with 911, it can be done with every position. And like I said, if it can't, then we hire a professional scheduler to come in and tell him how to do it.
He needs to do, he's the head lead, he's the leader, he needs to do the scheduling.
Department heads are managers, and they need to manage their budgets and their timesheets and their schedules.
Right.
And that's where we're falling short.
I'm gonna add that if you go back and historically look at it, when we took away the chance for people to buy out their vacation at the end of the year and they didn't use it, and now if they don't use it, they lose it. People can't, they take off now, and that leaves them shorthanded, and overtime has shot up. And I know, talking to Brent, he specifically told people that that would happen. And he's not wrong, it did happen, and you can look at his numbers historically and see that that was probably one of the stupidest moves that we made, was taking that option away to people, because now you're leaving these departments stuck, because now if somebody doesn't have time to leave to take their vacation and they know they're gonna have to buy it, we could have bought that time back at regular time, but now we're stuck paying time and a half. And I hate to be the one to say I told you so, but I had a feeling this was gonna happen, and I pointed it out years ago, and now you can look at the numbers and see that it's there.
So
And
what part
his
of-
office was the first one to say, that ain't gonna work for us.
So a question to you, Karen, what part of this 600,000 that's gonna go up is based on that? And what
Looking
part
at
of
the
it-
numbers historically, I'd say about a third of it.
About a third of it? Okay,
Yeah.
so the other 2/3, where's that coming from?
That's always historically kind of been there.
You know, so
So,
the question
you're gonna have this
is,
built-in overtime in every department from here. I mean, EMS is designed to have built-in overtime, 911 is designed to have built-in overtime. So.
But it's
even
not
your
ethical
sheriff's-
to have built-in overtime.
But we're not a normal 40-hour job like he's saying. You've got.
I'm just saying, if you
departments
if you have enough employees and you position their schedule right, you won't have overtime.
There's the problem.
They built it in automatically, so they get this extra money.
EMS, you can't hire enough, levels, like paramedics are hard to hire. There's very few of them available, or at least we haven't been able to hire them.
You can't find them.
They're just not out there, and if they are, you know, I think, I remember a few months back, he was a paramedic short, had one retired, was trying to hire a guy, but the guy lived in Kentucky somewhere, you know, I mean, it was a long distance, for him. So I think that hurts you on the EMS side specifically, because you have to have a certain amount of paramedics, a certain amount of advanced, certain amount of EMTs. And I think the workforce just doesn't have enough of those people in those positions qualified to hire them. That's been a problem.
And that's a nationwide problem. It's not just Washington County.
Yeah, it's,
But according to you have to be staffed right to be correct, so that you're not open for another lawsuit.
We all,
We've always had that trouble.
we all know the workforce problem, and that's the same problem that, the sheriff has. He can't keep enough staff, so if he's shorthanded, then the people who are left manning the ship are automatically going to receive more overtime. That's a problem in itself, but I think what Mr. Armstrong is stating is that even though those circumstances exist, we do, if we're doing our job, we should seriously be looking at limiting this overtime because it is bleeding us. That is Mr. Armstrong's point. We are paying out a lot more overtime than what we should. This has been talked about in the past, and it's snowballing. Whether vacation enters into the picture or not, every time somebody takes a week or 10 days off and utilizes their earned vacation time off, then that's going to require someone to man the ship who already has all their hours, and they're going to receive overtime to make up the difference for the person who's taking off. But it does need to be looked at because it's getting out of hand, and there's our raises, there's where they're all going. I mean, when you start looking at over $500,000 in overtime, gosh, what could we do with $500,000?
And the problem, it continues to grow every year. Somehow or another, we don't address the issue, and it's going to have to be addressed. The department heads, maybe they can come up with a better idea. Are there supervisors in place? I know when I worked in some other places, you know, you go to Walmart, you go to Ford dealership or the whatever. If somebody is taken off, a lot of times the supervisors who are not on an hourly rate will check in and take up some of that time frame, where it's not an extra burden on the taxpayer. In other words, the supervisor, he's gonna get his money anyway.
That
He
does happen.
may have to work,
That's what they're for.
he may
That
have to
does
work
happen.
50 hours that week, okay?
Right.
Hey,
I mean, it's no secret, it's
So
like
it's a-
Phil was saying earlier, you've got your emergency services crews who nationwide don't work your 8-hour days. They just don't, because they're a 24-hour job. So you're always gonna have built-in overtime, no matter what emergency services position you're in, whether it's EMS, 911, or police, or fire. They're always working 12-hour shifts or 10-hour shifts, so you're always gonna have that with them. There's no way around it. Can you have the floater position? Yeah, you probably could, but what if your floater can't be there that day? You're not ever going to not be able to avoid it at some point in time.
I agree 100%.
But
Right.
I agree. There's gotta be some overtime. Does there have to be over $500,000 a year?
No.
You're not gonna be able to cut it all out, but
You
as
can't-
long as you
right,
can do
that's my
some
point.
little moves to start it trending back down instead of
We've
climbing
got to
up.
start
Like,
decreasing.
if we could cut a third out,
Yeah,
you know, with
we can't
by
stop all.
giving back the buyback vacation days, you know.
The only
That's
justifiable
fair.
overtime to me is the highway department. When we have storms and they're working nights and weekends, and that's about the only justifiable. I mean, I understand there's gonna be circumstances where you're gonna have sick, police officers, EMS. Otherwise, it's scheduling is all it is. It doesn't have to be a 12-hour work week. If you get enough employees, it's an 8-hour shift on EMS.
yeah, but what you're saving in overtime pay, you're turning around and spending in longevity and health insurance and benefits and all that other stuff. So what are you really gaining then?
Then we have 13 employees and we're spending $217,000 in overtime, we can hire 3 additional employees.
I dare you to go to any other outside area and go ask any other better wages than we do. And they're all on the same 24/48 schedules. Every one of them. Because I sat on that ambulance board for over 2 years, and I researched it for a year before I got on there. So I know the ins and outs of that pretty darn good, and I'm telling you, we're not the highest paid one around here, but they're all working 24/48 schedules. So you're gonna be hard pressed to find any EMS service around here that doesn't pay overtime.
We're not saying that. We're not
But
saying.
he's
not
saying
paying
that he
overtime.
doesn't justify it in an emergency services situation. You can't be that way.
I'm not
Otherwise,
saying-
you're not gonna be able to have any employees at all, because that's what they're used to working. We can't change the nationwide options that everybody's got and say, oh, well, we're gonna be different, because we tried that here too. We did 2-day-a-week schedules, and I can guarantee you, when they did their 2-day-a-weeks and they're working 24 hours a day, 2 days a week, that's still 48 hours, and we had a heck of a we do now.
I think the point is Mr. Armstrong's trying to make. I think he, I know Todd understands that there are built-in overtime schedules due to the nature of public safety, EMS, somewhat sheriff's department, but, we're not gonna do anyone any good unless this issue is addressed. I think that's Mr. Armstrong's point, because it has gotten out of hand. Now, what the answer is, remains to be seen yet, but I think it seriously needs to be addressed.
So I have a question for Todd.
Yes. Oh, that one?
Mr. Armstrong. Mr.
Okay.
Armstrong. I'm sorry, I apologize. So, Karen just said that, we're gonna, what you were talking about is not really gonna do anything to reduce overtime. It's impossible, basically. I mean, just historically, it's.
Plus, part of your growth too is the fact that we've been giving raises pretty consistently the last few years. So the higher the hourly rate, time and a half, that's gonna go up too. So you have to factor that into your evaluation when you're looking at overtime.
Yeah, if we're bleeding out $600,000, none of us, or no one's gonna get raised, as far as side note, but I understand. But I'm just clarifying what she was saying, and to you, you talked to a county, someone who,
Somewhere.
did I understand that?
They're on the
right?
county council from Spencer
They're
County.
almost like us.
Yes,
And so, did you ask him how they get to only, how much did you say?
$139,000
Did you ask
overtime.
him how they get to that?
He said they had a lot of part-time EMS people, and they keep their positions full, and just, they don't budget it and won't allow it. That's what it comes down to.
Does their population require the same people on duty as ours does? I just pulled their population up and they're right at 20,000. We got almost a third more in population, which could kick us into a higher.
That's fine, so add a third to it, so 139, so you're almost $200,000.
But there's a-
I'd be happy with $200,000 budget
There's
for
a breaking
overtime.
point though where you go over, see, so you do the math and that 13 employees, that's 672 hours that's gotta be put in a week. That's at 13 employees, that's 52 hours a week. That's not including when they take off for vacation and all that. If you go talk to Tony and Mike, they will be more than happy to educate you on how that works.
I'm just looking at the line item for overtime on their budget, and it's went from 8,000 in 2023 to 217,000 in 2026.
I feel the pain, but
Well, I'm just saying,
And
how
at
do you
one
just?
time during peak hours, they ran a third truck. I
Yes.
don't know that they're able to do that now with staffing, but at one point in time,
I don't think they are. Todd, do you know?
He's no different than Brent. Same situation.
Yeah.
He struggles to find enough to fill what he has now.
Yeah.
And this, like you say, it doesn't matter what it is, it's worse in public safety. But just walk around the square, there's not a business in town that doesn't have a help wanted sign on the front door. This is the times we live in, and unfortunately, the only person that's paying for this in the end is the taxpayers. That's why our overtime's so high.
Well, when both trucks are out, we have 3 trucks, when both trucks are out, they have to call the on-call in. And they got, I don't know how much, I don't know if they pay them 4 hours or 5 hours or but still,
They're paid, it's kinda like waitress rates. That's what I always teased and joked about. It's waitress rates until they go into the station and they clock in, and then they're paid their normal rate.
okay.
So it's like being paid $2 or $3 an hour to sit there and be 30 minutes within station, and then you get there, you clock in, and you run your call, and you're paid your normal rate then, and then you clock back out from your run, and you're back on a normal, like 2 or 3, how that works. So you have all your part-time people, and I mean, you can have as many part-timers as you want that want to work on call, but you get to a point where
You can't get anybody to fill the on-call.
you can't get anybody to fill your on-call. So, and that's the part they're in now.
And I know they were having that trouble here a while back, and actually Mike and Tony were sitting, you know, at the station, because if they had 2 ambulances out, you know, if they were busy, then they were having to go in to kind of be the on-call in case something happened, you know, because they didn't have anybody to fill the on-call. And I think that happens pretty often with them.
And Homeland Security dictates a minimum number of ambulances you have to have
Yeah.
based on your population too. So as the community grows, you get to a point where you're required to run 2 trucks or 3 trucks or whatever it is.
So who determines the rates
The rates,
on the ambulance service? Because basically what I see is, a lot of times, Ascension is just like a stopping, you know, I've known people in the last couple of weeks have been at the hospital. You go, you sit there in the emergency room, and then it's, you just figure out where they're gonna ship you to, because they normally don't keep you there at Salem. So then we end up doing all the transfers, and we're the ones that's bearing all the costs.
But we
So-
don't do, we don't do those.
They don't.
Oh, we're not doing, okay, that's what I was asking, okay.
They dropped us a few years ago.
Okay, so we don't have to do any of
We
that.
met with them, we've had multiple meetings with the hospital.
We can't pick up any of that.
Haven't been able to get the transfers back.
They don't wanna pay.
They don't wanna pay. They want us to do the
they
transfer.
have no problem paying an outside service to
Right.
come in and do it, but they don't wanna pay
But-
us to do it.
But the
Okay.
bottom line is, the point of all this is, this does need to be addressed. Now,
Right.
How we're gonna go about it, that's
We are
your
not
call.
gonna solve it right now,
No,
but we have, just like he says, we gotta have a trend the other way. We can't, the trend cannot keep
Yeah, it keeps
increasing
going
year
up.
by year by year.
Whether
Because,
it's small or big, you just
You gotta
start
trend down.
little and.
yeah,
Todd, just to give you an example, Transcare, who is contracted with St. Vincent's to transport, due to the shortage of manpower, help, they can't get help either. They, to avoid taxes, they come up with this, called a scheme, it's perfectly legal. Instead of hiring full-time employees, they are hiring paramedics and paying them $66,000 for 16 weeks of work to transport patients. That's how bad it is. It's the help situation. But that's just a sideline story, but that's the truth.
Mike and Tony both told me if they cut out the overtime package, they would never be able to get any employees, because that's what bumps their salaries
But
up
that-
and makes
that's
it.
what everybody says. That's what 911 says.
Well, I
That's what
mean,
that's what everybody says, but I'm
You
like,
hear them out,
I'd rather put money into their pay than have it on overtime. Because you're paying them time and a half, and it's just like, it's just
It's
exploding.
that
Well, then you've gotta
lifestyle
get
that
the
they're
extra
used to living,
employee.
because that's what those schedules have always been since the beginning of time, because they're emergency services. So when they say that, they're used to that, because that's what, that's all they've ever done.
But how do we go
They've
from
always known.
8,000 to 217,000 in 4 years?
that's correct. You got no problem.
I would be interested in hearing what, and I don't know if Spencer County runs their own ambulance service, or if they hire it out to, you know, maybe we need to get their.
I'm just saying, it's gotta be looked at between EMS, sheriff,
Take a look at what they're doing
911.
to keep it away from,
Yeah.
you know, I mean.
We gotta figure out something. It's just not sustainable.
It's more than not sustainable, it's out of control.
Right.
Yes.
So who's paying the $66,000? Where's that money coming from?
Transcare,
And where are they getting their money?
well, obviously the fees they charge to the hospital.
And how are they collecting that? We're having trouble collecting. I mean, yeah.
There's no problem getting the
I've heard the 66,000, I'll go along with it. I see the shortfall, I'll go along with it. My trouble is, we can't collect for just a basic call that we're told yesterday or day before, or a week ago, that we're paying 50% collection fee. And the trouble of it is, we all know, we've got a heck of a lot of bad debt. You can make money, every one of us can make money if people pay their bill, let's be honest. The trouble of it is, we're not being paid for the service we provide.
Well, that's the problem, that's been a problem since the beginning of time. People-
And that's the problem.
That's part of it.
So the other question I got is overtime, vacation, and comp is all lumped into one line item. So you really don't know how much is overtime, how much is comp, how much, I guess, I mean, I'm new to this, so I don't know. I mean, can we split that back out so you know exactly how much each one of those line items is?
We can split it back out. They had asked to just have it all combined.
I'm sure they did.
And so we just,
I'm just saying, because it makes it more gray.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot less transparent to those in charge.
Right. And then also, you know, it's like EMS, they don't list the number of employees that they have on here. You know, like on Brent's, he's got each individual and you know how much each one of them's making and how many there is total. You don't even know how many there is on EMS without asking. I'd like to have that broke out by line item too, if they can.
One thing that Kyra was just talking about too, that's something to consider in this is that you've got to think about holiday pay. A 12-hour person, they work the holiday, they get their 12 hours of holiday pay, plus they get time and a half for working that day also, if it falls into their schedule and things. So that's another one of those baked into the mix that we have to look at. I'm not saying eliminate, that's not what I'm saying, but we gotta look at everything too. I agree with Andrew, I agree with Gerald, we've gotta get the trend going down. Now, how that looks, we got people that understand that way better than me. But I do understand that it's not responsible to the taxpayers to keep letting it go up and just to say, well, it's always been that way. We need to get it going the other direction.
I think if you can make one small decision that says a third, I mean, that's a start.
Right.
That was my thought.
Implement the buybacks. And don't force them to use or lose their vacation time. I mean, Brent came to me afterwards and was like, oh, this is gonna kill me, and I was like, oh, I know. It was the same thing I heard from EMS, they're like, oh, this is gonna hurt, and I'm like, I know. It's gonna be bad, because if you're already short-staffed and you feel like you can't take it, you just don't take your vacation, you work it, you know, and you stay there. But when you are forced that you're gonna lose it, people are like, you know what, I'm gonna not sacrifice the time with my family, I'm gonna take it off, and you guys are SOL, you're gonna have to figure something out and get somebody to come in and pull the overtime. You know, and that's unfortunate, because that can leave you in a double bind, you know, if somebody else is out sick or something like that, that can really hurt.
So in your opinion, do you think
I
that's a
think
good
it needs
first
to be
step?
implemented back, that would be your first step, see if it trends back down. And if you break it out next year and do holiday and vacation in a separate line item, you can
You can
totally
see.
see if it's breaking down
Right.
at that point, cause then it's just a matter of adding the two lines together to they sum back to the total of the one from before, where it was totaled together, and see if that's what's trending it down. If it doesn't work,
So with them combined, that's kind of misleading.
You have no idea where it's coming.
Yeah, we don't
Right.
know if it's 600,000 overtime. You know,
Right.
you don't know it.
There's so many things to be hid,
Yeah.
if you want to. Is there not a minimum that they can, ours that they can carry?
there used to be, there, yeah, now.
I thought there was a minimum.
Here, about that. So Was that to where that only?
If they paid out a certain amount at the end of the year and they got to carry over a certain number at the end of the year. So if they went over that certain number that they could carry over, then we would pay it out.
So there was a cap on it?
There's gotta be a
There
cap
was
on
a
it.
cap, that's
Yeah.
That's what I was asking, just so.
You can't bank them and have,
Yeah.
take your last year off, you know,
Yeah, you can't go that far out.
right.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, as far as that goes, you can make it whatever you want.
We set this. I was thinking they had a cap now, but maybe they don't.
Would we have to add, you know, put something in the budget to account for the?
The commissioners have to sign you guys have to go in front of and do a public hearing like you did the last time, didn't you? Don't you?
Yeah, that goes back under Dave Brown and John Foltz. And, I mean, they was some of them like $400-600.
And maybe you cap what they bank, you know, like, hey, you can only bank 1 week at a time,
Right.
you know, like,
And that's reasonable. You know, if you wanna take a long vacation next year, 3 weeks, you know, whatever it figures out to, 1 week is
maybe that's what you
reasonable.
guys wanna cap it at. I mean, I think before it was what, you could bank up to 2 weeks. I think you could bank up to 80 hours, if I remember.
Maybe this is a small way to.
No, 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 no. I mean, these are discussions we need to have.
Okay.
You know, I'm open for answers, but I just don't know how you're gonna get there because you're gonna have staffing problems.
Well, people's gonna get uncomfortable. Like, I said, it's gotta change.
Okay,
Yeah. That's gonna be your
in
issue.
line of your thought, while ago, think about this. Can we not ask the department heads and let them, they already know. I mean, they know this is a problem, overtime's a problem. Can we not say, hey, guys, we want a 10% decrease next year in overtime? I don't care how you do it. You're a department head, you run that department, and if you've got a problem with overtime in the department, the council is telling you right now, whatever you do, 10%, 20%, we want a 10 or 20% reduction in that next year. And if you can't do it, maybe we need another department head.
General, your trouble is, you can't solve the problem sitting here as the council, let alone try to get the department head to be able to do, I'm not criticizing.
I'm not running the sheriff's department. The sheriff's running the department. He sees the problem. He needs to somehow give us an idea how that problem can be corrected.
And they're gonna come to you with the EMS and the sheriff's department, and they need more personnel.
You can put more personnel in for $600,000.
Okay, then give permission to hire if they can find it. That'll be the next part.
But I don't,
EMS can't find the people to do the job to be legal.
they have no openings, do they? Does EMS have any
It
openings?
is fluid, it changes
Yeah,
day to day,
daily.
honestly, day to day.
Is that bad? I mean, it's that bad.
Just to give an example, Brent tried to hire a jailer here a while back. He came in, filled out his paperwork, went to work, worked 4.5 hours, went to lunch, and didn't come back. Nobody could find him. Where's he at? What happened? Called and called and called, 2 hours later, I can't do this job.
Kelly told you the same thing with dispatch.
Well, I disagree to some extent. There are people that I know who have applied for jobs out there that didn't even get a look at. Now, and I know they're qualified. So, I'm just saying, I disagree to some extent that you can't fill a position today. Is it gonna be hard? Yes, it is. But you can fill a position. You might not, they might not meet all the criteria that you're looking for.
That's your problem with EMS, so
You have to.
you have to
Some
have
of
that
these
criteria,
They have to meet the criteria.
because you have to have
Well,
certain
if that's the
staffing.
case, we need somewhere, whoever's setting the criteria needs to change that criteria. Otherwise, we're gonna have issues where we're not gonna be able to fill any position Because somebody who's not even in Washington County is setting guidelines that we can't meet.
That gets you in the trouble, you say lower your standards to find people, that gets you in lawsuits now.
Well,
Which way you wanna pay, lawsuits, or you wanna pay the other way?
I'm done. Thank you.
I just feel like it's being allowed, and it shouldn't be, and we gotta stop.
So what do you wanna do? I mean, we're here.
I don't care, I don't care if we sub it out and just hire a whole outside contractor. I don't care if we hire more people. This rocket ship of growth on overtime,
Gotta stop.
yeah,
So you talking privatizing the service again, is that what you're?
I'd be fine with that, if it's more feasible.
Nobody wants it.
You can't find anybody that'll do it though, because we've been down this rabbit hole.
Your private companies are in it to make money.
Yeah, they wanna make
And Medicare
money.
caps out how much they'll pay you on a run, which lowers your amount of income. Phil and I know this very well. And it lowers the income that you make on those runs. And every year, Medicare comes in and they take a little bit more of a slice of that pie. And every year, you make a little bit less money on a little run for an elderly person. And let's face it, the majority of your cases are elderly people runs that are on Medicare or Medicaid. And when the federal government's stepping in here with their handout, trying to take a little bit more of that piece of that pie, it's less money for you. And we, as a county and private services, that's why they all go belly up, because they can't make any money doing it, because Medicare's there, ready to take their piece of the pie. As crazy as that sounds, that is exactly it. Because they keep cutting that money that comes in from Medicare and Medicaid every single time. And the insurance companies are just as bad now.
Yep, she's spot on with that. And
They discount that bill down to where you're not allowed to charge over a certain amount of money. If you go over that rate, insurance comes in, they discount it down. This is all we're willing to pay, and then if that person can't afford to pay it either, then you're stuck, like Phil said, not getting your bill paid.
That's fine, I'm just saying, private industry generally runs much more efficient than government-ran industry. Okay,
They
so
do
I don't know the last time,
service and they go out of business.
that's
every
fine, I don't know the
3
last time we shopped it out. Has it been shopped out recently? Pricing on ambulance service, have we even tried to acquire a price on it? I'm not saying it's not gonna still take a stipend, but if we can save $250,000, that's good for the taxpayers and still get the services. I don't care how we do it, it just, the cost has to be managed.
My biggest fear here is, when we first took it over from Knox County, we had to redo some of the ambulances. We paid $75,000 for that one ambulance. The last ambulance we bought, I think we paid $175,000. We used to put some money back to redo, because you know they're gonna do, or wreck, or what have you. And the insurance company did buy 2 ambulances over a period of time we've had it. But today, I don't think we're sending anything back, and you're gonna be coming due for another ambulance. And at the price they're going, where's that money gonna come from? Now, I agree with what you're saying on the overtime, yes. And maybe we need to hire an efficiency expert to figure out what we can't figure out. But we are looking at labor problems nationwide, and we've got restrictions. None of us here could go up there and apply for a job and get it.
I'm not arguing, I'm just saying, we just can't just close our eyes and just keep doing what we're
And
doing.
that's what I'm saying, we just need.
I don't care if we get prices from outside, if we bring them in, we bring a scheduling expert in, I don't care how we do it, but we gotta be looking at options. That's my point.
We gotta try.
We gotta try something. Just sitting there saying, I can't do it. Well, we might as well just go home, sign the budget and call it good. I mean, that's what we got elected for, was to try.
And you're right.
I'm not grandstanding, I'm just saying
No, you're
I don't
right.
wanna be here. I'd rather be at home on the farm working than being here.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
would-
I mean,
So,
if you make one small decision like this, you can cut overtime down and you can help employee retention, I think. Even if it's 1, 2, 3, 4 employees say, hey, I like that, I wanna stay here, you know?
right.
There's more that people look at than just money.
If it's the vacation buyback, that's fine with me. I don't care what it is, that's an idea at least. It's the only one,
I feel like
On the
it's a,
table right
it's
now.
a small start.
So how do you wanna do this? You wanna just send a letter to every department head asking them to cut their overtime budget by 20%, see what happens?
You basically only got three. Highway department's only $40,000. That, to me, like I said, is required. Snowstorms, whatever. It's sheriff, 911, EMS. That's your three overtimes. That have ballooned. And I think, yes, they need to come in, we need to have time with them, evaluate it. I don't care if you spend $50,000, cut back $100,000, you still save $50,000.
I think that'd be a good start, but listening to Karen, she said, he said, I told you so let's start with that. That's another small step, so that's
I
these
mean, I
two
think if you wanna
steps
ask
we can-
if you wanna ask department heads how to cut their overtime, send out a little survey and say, hey, if we brought this back, how do you think this would help you?
Good idea.
Is this an issue that you're having right now? I mean, it doesn't, I'll be happy to send them an email and say, here, 5 questions. If we were to do this, this, and this, what do you think this would do to your bottom line? If we brought back the following thing, we're gonna offer the buyback of your vacation time that you don't use, so you don't lose it. Would that lower your overtime? If so, by how much percentage, you know? How often do you see an issue with vacation stepping in the way? You know, how often do you see holidays stepping in the way? How often do you feel that adding this back would offer another incentive to new employees potentially coming down the road? Like all those different things, and then say, do you like the way it's going right now? Are you okay with that? You know, I mean, I think it's a legitimate email to go out to each department head and say, hey, what are your thoughts on this?
And that's a good way for them to engage their employees.
Yeah. I agree. That's a very good idea.
And then you're figuring out, I mean, they can go out, they can engage with the employee and see, is that a benefit they want back? Is that something they don't want? And then if it comes back with an overwhelming yes, then we try it. I mean, what have we got to lose at this point, you know? If it brings it down, and it's a step, like Andrew said, in the right direction, and Todd said, it's in the right direction. But I do think breaking it out would be easier. I mean, even if it means that next year we look at it and we're like, oh, we gotta add these 2 lines together to get back to the total of what it was listed in 25. I set numbers all day, I can sit down them, I mean, it ain't a big deal to me. But I feel like it needs to be addressed again, and I think it would help with retention too, personally, but I'm happy to send out an email. I don't
Can
care. I'll let him approve it before we send it out.
Can I ask for you to chair maybe a committee to put together a survey
Mhm.
to send out to, the department heads and their employees about how we can cut this, or whether that would work, buy back the
It has to start there.
and then that's a start, and then maybe we'll get some answers out of that. In the meantime,
We'll give him a deadline
if
to.
you can contact
to
this
let us
guy
know.
from Spencer, find out how their ambulance service, whether they're, ambulance service, or whether they're, parking it out. We need to figure out, what they're doing and who's running their ambulance service.
Are they using IU Health?
I don't know.
There's a couple of counties that are using private services, but they offer a part-time staff to supplement it as part of their contract.
That's,
And even if
I've
it still
heard of
costs a
that before.
stipend to make it sustainable, it could still be considerably cheaper.
They're not around here, but I know they're doing that in like Tennessee and Mississippi and stuff, in like those rural areas. They're having like contracted companies come in, and then some of the counties, as part of their contract, all they do is offer the part-time people.
Wayne County's went to America.
Yeah, they're not with,
Yeah.
New
Well,
Chapel anymore.
And we know the problems that they had, and we actually even talked to New Chapel at one point, back a few years ago. Yeah, but, we did, we looked at different options, thankfully we didn't get involved in that mess, but that's a start, and I think, you know, if some of you are willing to work on that.
And I mean, you are able to remount the box on the back of the
Yes,
ambulance too.
and we
so-
know they did give us an update on that here. The ambulances we have currently, the chassis are good. We can remount the boxes without having to buy a whole nother ambulance twice.
We're good till,
Yeah,
I think we're
you just,
good.
that's if your engine holds.
Yeah, which we've had a little better luck with the gasoline.
Gasoline engine's working great.
Yeah, it's working way better than the diesels we had in the past, and that's kind of been the trend, on
I was
those.
gonna say, you had 2 coming on 3 when I stepped off the board.
Yeah, we replaced,
It's the box itself. Most of you have
Yeah.
boxes, you go into vans, the transits.
But that was the problem when I stepped on, is they were still using old ambulances, and they didn't have any remounts left, and when you guys got it back from Knox County, they had racked up all the mileage on them, and you had no good ambulances.
It just goes up.
Right.
no, I 100% agree with what you're saying.
Gotta get it going.
Back down at some point.
One thing too, have them, or maybe we need to change that grouping, because if you look at the EMS budget, from 22 and 23, if you just look at the overtime line, you know, it shows $8,000, but you gotta look at part-time and holiday pay. At that time, we're booked out in different line items, so if you add the 3 line items together, it was still 193,000. You know, so it's a little deceiving when you look at that and see it at 8,000, and then all of a sudden in 24 it went to 162, but it was because they lumped those 3 together. So you were still paying out 193,000 in 22 and 23.
So, I think we're overlooking too that Tony and Mike proposed a floating person to eliminate some overtime. They did propose
They
that in
did
this
talk
budget.
about that.
So that would go back towards what you're saying, so they are taking preliminary precaution on that if you all was to prove that extra employee
Right.
for it. So that would overall bring their cost down some too, so. And going back at what you're saying needs to be done, so I think that just got overlooked and nobody remembered. That just hit me like a brick a minute ago.
Well, the problem, there again, it'd be a staffing issue on the floater.
Right, but they're willing to try, I guess what I'm
Right.
saying, to address your issue.
If you have to have a paramedic as a floater, like he gave us a figure there, it was 93,739
Yes. So
for a paramedic. Now, if it was an EMT, you could fill a floater position at 74,091, but you still have to have a paramedic in the ambulance
Right.
too.
He
So
did say he would prefer a paramedic, but
hiring one would be the problem.
EMT would.
And address their issue.
Yeah, I think
over
they've
there,
looked
so,
at it
yeah.
and,
And I'm just saying, it just hit me that. whoop.
Yeah, it's not a personal attack.
Right, oh, I know.
Yeah, and the only other thing too is when they mentioned the paramedic versus EMT, you have to think about you're advertised as an advanced life support service, which is an ALS service, which means you have to have a paramedic on the truck.
Right.
So it's usually 1 paramedic, 1 basic. If you do that floater position, and let's say the other person on that truck is another EMT,
EMT, you can't.
and it's another EMT,
Yep.
then you're going out on a run as a BLS, which is basic life support, which means you're very, very, very limited on what you can and cannot do to touch that
Billing,
patient on that truck.
yep.
And that could pose as an issue.
Well, it depends on who you got,
Right.
and that comes back to.
If you've got an
staffing.
advanced EMT on there,
At
that's
one
another
time, we
story
was
too.
overcrowded with EMTs, or paramedics. We had too many
We were
paramedics.
paramedic heavy for a
Paramedics
while.
were running.
That's a good problem to have.
But one thing, we do have to figure, and I took one, the director itself. Since 17, it was making 48,456. And then at 26, we're looking at 74,746. You got a $26,000 raise that's coming against you. Now, that's just a small one. and there's other ones, and I realize that that number of overtime that you're talking about, as it's went up, inflation's killing us, along with the overtime pay.
Well, and like I said earlier, part of your growth in your overtime is the fact that we've been consistently giving raises, so
Right.
you're gonna have an overtime that's calculated at an hourly rate
And
that's
that's
a little
gonna
more
go
than it
against
would have
you.
been a year before, so that has to be taken into consideration too. So whatever our percentage of increase was each year that we gave, you're gonna have that same percentage applied to your overtime too. So that's unavoidable.
I think you've got the best idea, is go to the department heads and ask them, like you said, if they can reduce,
So they need to.
but they're not gonna have an easy answer for you.
I say that's great, but I think, like what Bo was saying, having Karen, chair group that works on that, have Todd work on that, I think that's some good free first steps, in my opinion.
Who would wanna work with Karen on that, you know, on that
I'll
committee?
work with
Will
her.
you work with her on that? Andrew, would you?
Yeah.
Okay, so if the three of you will work on that, then we'll get Todd to find out from his buddy there what they're doing. You know, maybe we can compile that information, maybe that'll help us get a direction to head, because at this point, it's like Todd said, we've looked at this and looked at it with the EMS especially.
For years.
And it's just something that, you know, we don't know what to do to fix it. So maybe that's a step in the right direction. And I appreciate everybody, you know, looking at it and bringing that up, because Todd's right. You can either avoid it or you can hit it head on. We need to hit it because it is killing us. No doubt.
Well, and like I said, when you lump all these positions together, so like they're saying you can hire an EMT for $74,000, but our line item is $183,000. Is that 2 people? Is that 3 people? I don't have any idea. I don't know how much they're making.
That's three.
That's 3 on the EMT, probably.
So that's 61,000. Plus benefits, you'd probably be 74.
Well, and there's built-in overtime in there because of the shifts, you know, so.
I hate to say this, but this is just the truth. Here's another thing you're fighting. Public safety, being hired by a medical service, an ambulance service. These people, they know how to maximize their income. They are aware that there's a shortage, and it's just human nature. They're gonna take advantage of it. They're gonna go to the place that pays the most, and they're also gonna go to the place that will give them the most overtime. So, back to the employee problem. If you, and this is the problem we have, if you cut their overtime, this is exactly what's gonna happen. They won't wanna work in Washington County, because they're gonna say, why would I want to work for Washington County? They won't give me any overtime. I am an EMT, I have a license, I can go wherever I want and work at a place that will pay me all the overtime I want. Not saying I agree with it, but that is the nature of the beast. So, then that hurts, hurting both ends of the camp. Then you say, I need to hire some people, I need 3 people. Can't find them. You know, you can find them. They'll come and interview. How much overtime am I gonna get a week? 0? Well, I'm not gonna work here. I want to work a job where I can get paid all overtime percent, because a third of what they're working is overtime, and they're happy.
And I think a lot of them are happy too, because they have that set schedule, they know
So
a year out in advance, oh, I'm gonna have that holiday
I'm
off.
just trying to explain to you
Yeah.
what reality is, that this is what we're up against.
I know, and it's a necessary service, I'm not saying
Yeah.
that, I'm just saying that,
And
Yeah.
you'll be hard pressed to find any police officer or paramedic or EMT or even 911 dispatcher who's like, try and come and do my stressful job and save someone's life or put your life on the line.
But
I
that
mean,
doesn't mean.
they justify their overtime with that.
That doesn't mean
Rightfully so.
we can't try.
We can try. And I think those things and doing that would be a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
but that was their calling in life. They're the ones that chose that profession. I didn't choose it, you didn't choose it, they chose it. I appreciate what they do.
Work to where they can work here 2 days a week, 40 hours. Skip a day, get a week, and go to Salisbury or someplace else and pick up the same pay and double their income.
Right.
But at the same token, you don't have enough personnel you can draw from.
It's tough. It's tough.
The sheriff's department's the same way. They can go from here, pick up the second job, they can do that, and go to Salisbury and make a waste of money down there, we can pay them up here. I mean, we're fighting a problem,
Oh, I know.
but like you said, you gotta try something. And you're-
I mean, and that's their argument, and rightfully so. I mean, I would not want their job. I wouldn't want to have somebody else's life in my hands and be responsible for that, you know?
Dude,
I mean, they deserve, in my opinion, they deserve all the overtime they want, because if you're gonna save somebody I love, then more power to you.
But the budget has went up 276% in 10 years.
Yeah.
So if you multiply today's number, in 10 years, you take it times 276%, you don't wanna know what that number is.
no, I don't, but I can be here.
I'm just saying, that's the trend we're on. That's the reason I'm saying it has to stop, because it's out of control.
Yeah, we'll blame it on COVID.
That's part of it.
It is.
It definitely was. That was a downfall.
So you got a plan, right?
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
Those three are gonna work on that, and get that out to the department heads. Todd's gonna contact the guy from Spencer. We'll see what they've got and see what we can find out, and we'll set some time to get back together and talk about it.
And it's not just EMS.
Oh,
It's 911, and it's the sheriff's
All
department.
three
It's
of
all
them.
three of them.
Well, I'm not gonna alienate just those three departments. I'm gonna ask
Who else
the other
has
department.
the highway department?
I mean,
Nobody else has overtime.
so,
Well, but also the consistency of it for the people with the vacation time buyout at the end of the year, that would be everybody.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that's
would be
everybody.
everybody.
Like, I'm
Right.
not gonna limit the survey to just those three
No,
no.
departments, you know
I
what I mean?
think
Like, I don't think
no.
that's very, very fair.
No, I didn't mean that.
I
Yeah.
think you should, send it to everybody as far as that goes.
Yes.
Because that could help.
Right.
And then, we'll, we can talk to, through the ambulance board, we can talk to Mike and Tony, see if they have any ideas. I mean, they've been doing this a long time. Not saying they got all the answers, but, because obviously they don't. But, I do know from listening to them that, staffing is their biggest issue, keeping people. It's a revolving door, same way with Brent. And, we all know what we went through with the sheriff's department, and I told Brent at that time, I said, I don't think throwing money at it's gonna fix your problem. And, it didn't fix everything. Not saying what we did wasn't right, because it was. We got them back to the level where we're competitive, but they're still having problems hiring people, and I think that's a big part of it. So we'll start working on that, okay? Thank you guys for that input, that helps, for sure. Michelle?
Yes, sir.
Are you with us?
I'm with you.
Where do we go from here, honey? What do you want?
I told you there's only two things, salaries and deciding exactly how much you wanna allot for a corner vehicle. That was the only two things I left here yesterday.
Well, we're working,
And I guess a corner vehicle you technically have until we adopt the budget to
Okay.
decide what
Just
you
wait
want
till
to
they
do.
come
Yeah.
back with
yeah,
Numbers.
we've got some
We can have
feelers
that.
out,
Yeah.
so hopefully we'll get some quotes or
So,
stuff back.
So it's you all deciding how you wanna do salaries.
Well, I will say this before we go into that. I am concerned with the SB one. You know, I personally put a lot of faith in Darren Bates and what he says. And you know, he's never steered us wrong before. And from what I took out of what he said the other day was, you know, nobody really knows. So, you know, I kind of took from him that we need to watch what we do now, because that's definitely going to affect us down the road. So, you know, I think we need to be frugal with our money here, just because of the unknowns coming down the pike. So that's my 2 cents on what we do for this budget. As far as,
I agree with that, because when we went to Madison, or he came in, and every conversation, the unknowns, it's the thing of, we gotta be prepared, and the unknowns, there's too many unknowns, but that doesn't mean that we can kick the can down the road, in my
Right.
opinion. I agree that the unknowns mean that we've gotta absolutely run a tight ship when it comes to that, as far as that goes. That's just my view on that.
It's a good view to have,
Thank you, Bill.
especially this year.
I appreciate it, Bill.
anybody else got any ideas on what percentages you would like to see? I mean, Michelle can run those numbers for us. She's always been able to do that for us in the past, so.
In my opinion, 3 to 4% is kind of what I had in mind with the increase in insurance costs and inflation
Yeah.
and SB one. I mean, it's not what we'd all like to give, but I think it's something, and I don't know.
I personally think we look at another option of a blanket raise, department by department.
sorry.
Yeah, instead of doing the same percent across the board.
Look at each individual department.
Who's gonna make that decision?
I think the problem with that is then you give the perception that one department is more important than the other, I mean, that's just a gray area to me. And
I mean,
then,
there's a lot of department heads though that feel like the blankets are unfair, so there's that too.
why do they feel that?
Those are the same department heads that don't want to give raises to Sally, but yet Janie over here, she doesn't get a raise. They don't wanna be the bad guy, and I don't blame them. They want somebody else to be the bad guy, so we've talked about this, Gerald, you've heard it all before.
Been down that road.
Well, I'm thinking what Andrew means is maybe more like you're looking at the book that we get that shows, here's what other offices in this position are making. Where do we rank in the counties next to us? Are
Well,
those
and-
salaries lower? Do we just raise those a little bit higher and everybody else gets, this one gets 3 or this one I think that's what you're meaning more, right? Like to get them more in line, so.
Well, I think,
No.
several years ago, they used to do a small percentage and then pick out, 4 or 5 departments, do a little bit bigger. The next year, you
To
switch
get them
that.
in line with the surrounding counties so that you're maintaining retention. I think that's what you're meaning, right?
Yeah, we have in the past, we've offered stipends to areas that we felt were not efficiently, waged. We've offered stipends in the past, and that's created issues as well with everybody else. Unfortunately, when you're dealing with a government entity, how many employees do we have? 200?
That's not all full-time though.
No, that's for one part.
Anyway, we've got a large number of employees. Those ideas are good ideas if you have a small number of employees, but you just can't, it's just so difficult to operate a government entity like a small business. It just doesn't, those two things just they don't work together. So I'm for a 3 or 4% raise, just like that. It answers a lot it solves a lot of issues. Sure, there are probably some inequities out there, but think about this. Those inequities were there when that worker decided to work for the county. In his own mind. But he decided to go ahead and work for the county. So my point is, once you make a commitment to do that, and then 6 months down the road, well, maybe I shouldn't have done that. We can't solve all those problems.
How
That's
many
not
county
right.
employees have you talked to that say they like the way that we're doing it?
They like what?
That they like the way that we do it?
Well,
None.
probably none, yes, I suppose.
Well, I think the thing that, I understand what you're saying about that, but, you know, we sat here and listened to how many people, and I apologize for this, but how many people came in here and said something about the auditor's office and their raise line. So if we do something that, okay, we need to get these departments up to the other counties, first of all, I could probably find, if I worked hard enough, I could find a group that says this is where we need to be relationship. But my point to that is, so then we do that, and then next year we got people coming in saying, well, you gave so-and-so more, so they're in the seat that the auditor's office was, so there's always gonna be someone
You're not
that
gonna
does not
make
think it's.
everybody happy, but as long as you make majority happy, I think.
Yeah, a percentage raise, you've got the higher ups getting even higher and the lower scale people getting farther behind, and that's where the complaint is here. I went to probably, I don't know how many departments there is, and that's where the issues is.
Can we?
I've got out and talked to them,
It's
and
like
Andrew has
kicking this
too.
can down the
I
road
went to
and we
one-
haven't
Well,
done it.
I'm not saying what your point and your conversation with them is not valid, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, if we do a blanket this, there's gonna be these people upset, and if we do this, there's gonna be these people
But by
upset.
giving the
And
percentage
I
rate,
think
we're
there's a
kicking the
valid
can again.
point for both ways. I'm just saying that if we decide to do this, we're gonna get this feedback, and then if we decide to do this, either way, we're gonna get
It's been my
unhappy
experience, if you're open with them and you explain why you did it, most department heads are kinda understanding, but maybe that was just with me, but,
Well, if you
Can
look,
because we did it a few times, I mean, since I've been on the council,
Try to catch a few up.
catch a few up, you know.
Okay, so
like-
in what department would you pick that gets more than
Let
the next?
me say something. Could we look at the longevity and, go 0 to 5, 2%, 5 to 10, 5%, 65, you know, we're at 60 now, and maybe that'll work, I don't know, I'm just throwing
You
that out
think
there.
base the percentage of raise off of a person's longevity with the county?
I disagree, that should count for something.
Yeah, I think so,
That's why we got longevity.
yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, the longer you've been here, the more longevity.
Yeah, that messes with your line items going forward. You'll be jumping all over the, you know, because that person retires, you've built this number up to this, you hire a new person in, and do we take it back down to this number? Those department heads aren't gonna do that, you know? It's been built up to 50,000 because that person was here for 25 years.
Yeah.
Then when we start over again with the next person, how are we gonna reset? You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying we shouldn't reward, but I'm like, Gerald, that should be done through longevity on that line item, not through the salary side of it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Just because when that person retires, it's gonna build that line item up so high that the next person comes in, you know, right off the street, and they're gonna start at this high level that the person that just retired was at.
Well, that's what I'm saying, if 0 to 1 year to 5 years, you get this
You're
60%.
saying take the new person back down
and
to a
then-
different rate, I think is what he's saying.
10
Yeah, but you'd have to reset
5
that
to 10.
line, we'd have to go through each time and reset that line item. Anytime
Yeah.
anybody retires,
Yeah, every year you're gonna have to redo the pay classifications.
yeah,
That's a nightmare, number-wise.
yeah.
Yeah. That is a nightmare, Jeremy.
So do you guys have a suggestion? I mean, a certain department that you feel has
Yeah, which part?
got a shortfall? I'm just asking, I'm open to ideas, so.
I mean, it's not just a one decision, it's a group decision.
Oh, I know.
think You just go through department by department and, I think you could, like I said, I mean, there was a lot of people that used to like that, I don't know, that I had talked to, that said, everybody, these departments are getting this, and you pick a group out, and they get this, next year you pick another out, and everybody's getting something, but some are catching up a little bit more.
I mean, we
It
had a
doesn't
few
put
that
such a
came
big
in and
burden
showed
on
us in their stuff that they dropped off with their budget, or they brought in with their budget, that showed where they ranked compared to other surrounding counties.
Yeah,
And
but on some of
Since
those-
they did the work on those, I think that would be a good place to start.
Some
Would-
of those are paid for by groups that are intentionally trying to make
Right, when you're
an
comparing the
argument
lake,
for a county,
Marion.
so they can go to their county and say we deserve more. There are good groups out there that are doing that. Just back to, I do like the, problems I have when it comes to doing something for this group this year, this group next year. I have talked to department heads and I've gotten feedback from them and talked about raises, and there's not a single department head in this county that does not believe that when it comes to raises, they have the best department and they deserve the most. And that's good that we have department heads that fight for their people and
You should.
want to do that. You should, absolutely. It becomes gray area that, the council make up this year and who we decide is at the top of the list this year. And then it may have different people next year, and then a different group decides. It's just too subjective. And I think that when you start introducing those gray areas, especially with pay, and you're right, Karen, transparency this is what we need to do. But there also has to be the transparency that there is a standard that we are holding ourselves accountable to for consistency and fairness and honesty in how we do pay increases. That's just my opinion on that.
A few years back, we gave the sheriff's department a raise to compensate for it. And the highway department, we didn't. And then the EMS wasn't even included at that point. And all we done is PO'd a lot of people because we were saying this group deserved more. Their group didn't deserve more. So watch what you do when you do the way you're doing, because you are gonna insult a lot of people.
Now, see, I remember it differently when we picked departments.
I didn't, I heard, we give the sheriff's raise to
But-
compensate for it.
I mean, even the
Honestly, I'm not
community was
wanting to
not
sit
gonna
here
get
till
the
4
last.
o'clock today over this, so
I agree.
why don't you all pick a percentage for a blanket raise? And then as a second option, go through your budgets right now, like you said. I'll figure it those 2 ways. Your way and the blanket raise way.
Well, wasn't they 6 to 10% that they asked for all of them?
It varied from 2 was the lowest, I think, and 22 was the highest. Well, and actually, Judge Houchin didn't ask for any raise, so it was from 0
Oh,
to
yeah, he
22%.
does that every year, yeah, he does.
And Michelle, thank you. I appreciate you
putting that out there, the option, but I think that still does not, we need to make a decision how we want to handle the raises and move accordingly. I mean, that's my opinion.
I'm thinking 4 to 5%.
Well, and I don't think it's fair, I mean, I know Judge Houchin didn't ask for it, but Judge Medlock came in and asked for 10%.
Yeah.
So, why is it fair for one set of reporters to get a 10% raise, go to 48,000, the others stay at 42?
Yeah.
So,
So we've got people asking for
Right.
24%, 23%.
right,
You know?
It's
Yeah.
just a difference in the attitude toward getting what they want.
And
I know.
And please, I want you guys to understand, I want our people to get what they deserve. I'm not saying one department is less deserving than the other. I'm just saying we need to have consistency and fairness, and it's too subjective just to pick and choose. Well, maybe I like Sally Sue better than Joey over here or something like that. I just think, I know Preston said his number, Todd said his number, and Gerald said, I'm personally comfortable with 3 to 4%. That's just my take on that. And then that way we're consistent,
And we gotta,
in my opinion.
we have to keep in, I know there's gonna be people,
That way we don't get them big.
What
there's
was-
probably gonna be people that are not happy with the 3 or
You see
4%
what I'm
raise.
saying? What, I mean,
We can't make everybody happy. But my point again, goes back to the point, you sign on to work for Washington County, you know how much money you have signed on for. So it should be a heartbreak when you don't get a whole lot more money, because you know what you committed for.
Right.
So,
and like, I said, the insurance cost is gonna go up for all the employees. I wanna take care of everybody somewhat, just because that insurance cost raising, it's gonna be a reduction in their pay if we don't do something for them. That's the reason, and I don't care if we do 2% across the board and we pick some individuals. I feel like everybody should get something because that insurance cost is gonna go up. I think we should bear some of
How
that
did you do it
expense.
before, Michelle? Was there like a rotation? You know, like you just take all the departments, divide them up, and
It was like, we tried to keep it as easy as,
then basically everybody would know what cycle.
yeah, we tried to keep it as easy as we could then, and I'd have to go back and look at the minutes just to be exactly sure, but, one year it was like EMS, sheriff, and highway. The next year, it was like your court system,
Clerical.
Clerical, yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
clerk, prosecutor, all them. And then the next year, it was like,
Yeah, I don't
The-
see anything unfair about that. I really don't. I mean, and I think basing it off of that book that we get that shows the surrounding counties that are comparable to us, and you base their pays off of what we're at, where do we rank? If we're in the bottom 2, I don't like for us to be that way, because to me, that makes it harder to have valuable and retain employees, because they could easily go to a neighboring county and get paid more, and then we're losing out on a valuable employee with experience. Their income tax goes to that county at the end of the year from somebody who works at that every year. I mean, like, there's all these multitude of reasons that it's leaving our county, and I think that, I agree with Andrew, I'm not saying, oh, we go in based on what they sold us, well, they said they need a 10% raise, we're gonna give them that. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, let's not make that position, let's not continue to kick it down the road where they're the bottom 2 in the surrounding counties. Like,
Sure.
I love the blanket raise idea to a degree, but I feel like Michelle's right. Let's maybe look at in that way.
What I was meaning by unfair, I.
Well, but we gotta create that budget.
No, I'm not meaning
Well,
to
going
anyway.
forward,
What,
can we look?
go ahead.
No, I'm just gonna, can we quickly look through and see which ones are in the bottom and analyze it from that aspect?
Bubba's got one of the books, doesn't he?
before we start comparing ourselves to Clark, Floyd,
You
can't.
gotta keep in mind the
There's different
size too.
tax base on
And
there.
the
tax
taxes,
base,
do
yeah.
not,
it does
Yeah.
not work.
I mean, just
Can't.
because they're paying somebody $60,000 down there does not mean
Oh, no.
we can.
It does not.
Yeah.
So-
We need to look at population size.
Yes, in this little book, that's what you need to look at, where
Right.
the counties were grouped with as far as population size.
Right.
Most
Sorry, I
private
should've
businesses
clarified.
don't give raises like percentages, they'll give you a 50-cent raise or a dollar raise or something, and that way you don't get that big spread as you move along. Cause when you do percentages, then these people get
Yeah.
left behind over 4 or 5 years. You
Yeah.
put a bigger gap between them, and I mean, that's telling them that they ain't worth what this person is, so.
Not too many businesses
Well-
out there that offer 4 or 5 or 6%
Smaller,
raise every year.
you're right, Terry,
Very
smaller businesses can do that, but there's businesses that just absolutely cannot.
Well, I mean,
you know.
it's the same as, I mean,
Yeah.
you think about it.
And what I was saying is fair is, whoever is not chosen in the group, it just gives gray area to where they're gonna say it's not fair, why were we not chosen? That was my point to bring that up, and why I would be comfortable with a flat. That was my thought process.
Well, I think,
Because like I said, I talked to many department heads, and they would, every single one would say, we should be at the top of the list, and that's good. That's good that they're fighting for their people. However, the fairness I was saying, talking about was just that perception of, why were we not chosen?
Well,
It's always gonna happen.
like you're saying, if we give 5% across the board, then everybody is happy. But if you go down and you give 3, well, why didn't I get that 5? You know, or 6 or 7,
It's kind of a catch-22, but.
yeah.
All right, it's 10:20. Let's take a 10-minute break. Let everybody clear your minds a little bit, and we'll come back at 10:30. And,
The stream will stay on.
yeah, it stays
I
live,
also
so
have another book downstairs that I'll
anything
bring
you
up.
can say.
You don't care.
So we'll come back at 10:30. I'll start looking at this.
Give it to me.
So you make better?
Still a little tight.
Thank you. It was a birthday gift.
You hang in there like a hair in a biscuit, don't you, Rhonda?
Well, I mean, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm mean about it. But I have a lot of, meanness in me. There we go. I guess that's what I was trying to say. I was just thinking, Mark Clark used to always make the coffee. Right? And he would put in like, just a little bit of coffee and just say coffee over top of it. It's like, a teaspoon. And I'm like, what are you doing? What kind of animal are you? And he's like, no, that's the right amount. And I said, no. Argued with a lawyer over that. And it's just,
You don't like Starbucks coffee?
I don't, because I don't like spending money on that.
I don't either.
If I can't say it,
I can't stand their coffee. I ain't man enough to drink their coffee.
there have been times when I've noticed a real difference in the quality of coffee, but rarely does it matter.
I tell you, the best coffee around, as far as I'm concerned, is Dunkin' Donuts, but I can't afford it.
Ah, well,
Walmart's got, McDonald's got good coffee. I'll give them that. That's about the only thing I give them, they got good coffee.
I would drink some kind of iced coffee or something. Looks like chocolate milk.
yeah, I'm pretty plain about that kind of stuff. I'm not really,
McDonald's came, if you go through drive-up, check it, as you order, because you get it, you get it,
See the
first
food
second.
first.
I drink sugar in mine,
mhm.
they can't tell with everything, sugar and cream.
That's how they do it. That's how they do it.
Don't move, Phil. Keep moving,
Do what?
keep moving.
Keep moving?
That's the key.
Yeah, she's still good. Cancer-free, went back and checked it the other day, everything's good on that side.
That's wonderful.
Good Lord.
And answer some prayers, no?
It's bad about Sandy Martin started.
Oh.
Yeah, that'd be a hard work. Damn right.
I wanna go there.
No. Everybody all right, you're telling? Hey, she ain't done this for a while.
He's slowing down. He's really slowing down. He does okay.
So Rick,
He's 86.
so it ain't gonna hurt the bottom line. He'll take it.
Yes.
And explain it, so I think he, that might need to be wrapped up. That's what he put in the clerk's office.
Oh, yeah, my county email or my email?
Whichever one you want.
Volunteered to work with you on that because you know so much about the EMS and all that stuff, so I want to learn more about that, so I think you'll be the perfect person to help.
Come to board meeting,
Huh?
come to the board meeting,
Sister married Ron Terrell.
go over and talk to him.
Well, I have spent time talking to him,
They'll explain to you
but I
why
think,
the.
like, I think your historical numbers. Brad G 7087@gmail.com.
Hey, have you? Is it cold, sir? Yeah. I think so, but I don't know what the temperature is outside. I'm in a budget meeting. Yeah. So are you having fun? Oh, okay. Well, okay, good. I'm feeling pretty good. I had a good night. Good morning. We went to the dance last night. I've done a couple slow ones, but I didn't even move my feet. So, I don't know what we're gonna do tonight. So, okay, well, thanks for calling, and have fun, I love you. Bye. That's my granddaughter, she went to that big, tractor show in Illinois. where they use the old machines, the combine. It's really interesting. He said, pick corn, corn pickers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What you do today, you got big ones, we don't know what it's gonna do. And that sucker, I heard it say.
I don't think I could pull a pink shirt off as good as Bubba's.
Huh.
I'm sitting here admiring
He
that.
looked. He looks good, don't he? Oh, yours more. Oh.
We gonna let Rhonda settle this?
Ranking
You got one of those books?
in order.
Oh, okay.
Do you have another copy of that book?
No,
This is
they've
the only-
gotten stingy in the
They
past
can
few
send
years.
their
Todd got one, Todd got one.
Cause they were wanting to see that.
Just make sure I get it back after the meeting, please.
Here, Todd got one too.
Oh, okay.
Todd got everything.
I think you can contact the AIC and purchase a book,
Excuse me.
but they used to send copies for everybody, and now they're only sending like 3 or 4 copies at most.
Yeah, the AIC only.
Well, they know how to do cutbacks, don't they?
You know,
We need to learn from that, don't
So they break it out by population, which is good.
Yep. Right, you're comparing apples to apples.
You see in ambulance too, though, you got your land mass and we're so big, that's another.
They break this out population.
Yeah,
But
they
down
just
here
break
where I
out by
do, don't,
population, they
I
don't.
think I'd rather Crawford County or Harrison or somebody come than Washington, cause they're gonna get there soon. For real.
No, I know. I'm the same neighborhood, remember?
Yeah, well, you're closer to Salem though.
A little bit, yeah, I guess. Yeah.
And I'm not saying population's the only factor, because you gotta look at who your neighbors are and where your employees are gonna take off and go to. Because most people aren't gonna move to Ripley County, you know, because that's in the same population group as us. But there's gotta be a happier medium.
I think Stephanie did break hers down to population.
She did, yeah, yeah.
So before we get started on the second portion, on department by department, was there a consensus on what percentage, if you did a blanket?
So, how hard is it for you to run reports on if we did 2% blanket and then pick some departments? If we went all the way up to, you know, run 2, 3, 4, 5? I didn't know if you can do this on the computer or not.
No, I do this manually.
Oh, no, sorry.
She's,
I was thinking a computer, you
No.
just,
she just quit.
oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to see it.
She wants a 10% raise now.
I'm looking at 4%.
I'd like to see it full.
I'll say 4 or 5.
So that's pretty much 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's gonna be easy math, what's
Yeah.
gonna raise it, and you can figure a 2 off of it, so.
Yeah.
I could even figure that.
Well, I
You just
think,
want the raise,
well, you had a paper that I handed out, a little spreadsheet that had a 6% figure
Yeah.
already. So if you can find that paper,
we can figure it backwards from there.
yeah.
Anybody find that paper?
I didn't get it. Oh, here.
I think it would have been in that group of stuff I gave you, the amended, I think. Oh, there it is,
That one?
yes.
Oh,
Guys, you haven't noticed, she's so far ahead of you, you don't even know it.
Yeah, here it is.
Right here
This was the,
with 6%.
okay, so a 6% across the board for everyone would be $367,000 increase in total wages.
yes, and I'll go back and refigure just to make sure, because I know some of those budgets ended up being amended a little bit.
But that's gonna be a ballpark.
Yeah.
So you're gonna spend about $120,000 for every 2% is what it's gonna cost.
Okay, there we go, that's right.
Easy enough?
Yeah.
Okay. So a 4% raise is gonna be almost $250,000.
$400,000,
400,000?
Yeah.
not 4 million.
Huh?
400,000?
$250,000. For a 4% raise would be $240,000.
Okay.
You said, I thought you said.
You
4
said
million.
4 million a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like,
You said 4 million, it came
I
out.
mean, that's some good raises. I think they'll be happy with that.
Well,
My brain, I knew what I said, but my mouth didn't. Yeah. Yeah.
No. No, they, yeah, they are.
Ron, if you could edit that
I
out.
think sugar free.
Not anything.
Even my snafus?
I know. Well, something that you might need to remember too, that, Larry, talked, if he quit 10% for his kids.
Judge
didn't he
Medlock?
Didn't he sue the county when they didn't give it to him? Yeah.
I wasn't here, but that's what, the impression I got, yes.
Yeah, so.
Well, he threatened us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he get it?
yeah,
He can mandate
it
anything.
did
He
mandate,
has the ability to do that.
yeah.
Yeah, oh, well, yeah, I know, but,
He's
And
not-
he did do that, what,
He's on one.
4 years ago?
Yeah.
3 years ago.
3 years
Yeah.
ago?
Holy cow, Jared.
well, that's a
Blew
great.
my ears off.
That'll wake you up in the morning. Wow.
That should be my alarm.
So what if we did 5 and made it like a round number instead of 4%? I mean, it's not gonna be that much of a difference and it'll.
So it'd be
help
about 300,000.
I mean, it'll compensate, yeah, it's gonna take it, drop it at another 60,000. And then that's a little bit more in each employee's pocket to offset the insurance that went up. So I'm thinking 5 instead of a 4%, but
That's what I was thinking.
We're still gonna pick a few departments.
yeah, and then maybe look at a few departments and you pick a few out that would be the ones that get 5. Or don't get 5, they might get 6 or something, or 7.
And that was, she wanted to come up with 2 options, so
Yeah.
one a blanket raise, and then the next one, what the base raise would be, and then what the more would be,
Yeah.
so. Whatever.
Say that again, Andrew, I'm sorry.
I said, I think Michelle was asking for the 2 options, so this was for the blanket, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Are we doing a blanket of 4 or?
and then we were doing an option of base versus more, you know.
far I have a consensus of 4% for the, a blanket base, whatever you wanna call it.
Is that still 4 or is it now 5? Since we have these numbers.
I could support a 5 as a blanket, but I wouldn't think 4, I would think 4 if you're gonna then target other departments, that's what I'm saying. And that just goes back to Senate Bill 1 questions for me, that's me.
5 blanket, and then if we target and do different departments, then it's 4,
Four.
and then we do the different departments at a different rate. I can do that, that's fair.
So 5% if we go with a blanket raise,
Yes.
4% if we target different departments. Do I have that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Go out and smoke with you. Do you care to go, well, I guess we know what that number's gonna be. Basically, it's gonna, the 5% is gonna be $300,000.
Yeah.
If you do a 4, then you get $60,000 that you can put to individual departments. The only problem I have with doing blankets is some of these departments that's doing all this overtime, I mean, they're basically building in increases in raises. Like I said, EMS is over $15,000 per employee.
Well, I think you need to pick the departments that you wanna target out. Maybe that's not one you wanna target out.
Well, and just to clarify my stance on my hesitation with carving out some departments is what my thinking process on that is. We have information that says, say, this office is 8 out of 10 comparable counties, so we target them, but what about this one over here that's 6th or 7th, and then their department in another county then starts giving all of the clerks a raise or whatever, but they're not in the rotation for 3 years, and so we've just increased that lag in there. That was what I was trying to explain my
I
thing
see
about
what you're saying.
so it's a tough thing to try to carve out which ones you want to give to. That was just.
Cause it puts them departments farther behind for a year or two until they get to that point. I understand what you're saying, Bob.
And then those people in that department are gonna say, well, why are we're always behind, they're gonna come to us and say, well, you know, that was my thought process.
Yeah, I know,
on
this
how we
ain't
carve
my-
out who it is.
This ain't my goat and pony show, I know it's all to the council, but talking to the highway department, Rick said his funds are separate than what, he's gonna get his funds no matter what. And he said he would like to control his raises by going off of that fact, you know, that, because he gets his money from separate funds than what the general fund would say. So I mean, if that's a starting point.
Some of
for
his,
him,
yeah. But also in his line item, he said it was a 6% raise, but he went from 562,000 to 651,000. That ain't 6%.
Why is that?
Well, his budget is divided up between 2 different
Right.
budgets. So when you see it went from 562 to 651, you also have to come back here and look. His operator's driver's line in 1176 went from 300,000 down to 250,000.
Yeah.
He's juggling 2 different funds.
But again, that's what
With his-
confused, yeah.
And
with his pay.
he's like everybody else too. I mean, if that's a starting point, he's number 1 on the list, you know, so. But,
So,
he's having a hard time because of the CDLs and all that, the new, so, I mean, that's a thing to look
Oh,
at for
yeah.
his department,
so I guess
Costs about 5,000.
yeah.
the question for us is now, we got to target, if we do the targeted departments, we got to figure out which ones those are going to be. Is that where we are on that?
Yeah, that's what we're working
Michelle, is
on.
that where we're,
Mhm.
okay. Does anybody have any ideas?
Well, these guys are supposed to be looking at,
Oh,
that particular aspect of it.
I'm ranking them out.
He's
okay,
about,
sorry about it.
he's about done.
Does that list include the highway?
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, he's number one in the book, so why not start there?
Yeah, that's all right. Start. Start at number one and go back.
Yeah, they send the 92 counties. It's not a mandatory thing, so some counties fill it out, some counties don't.
Yeah, when you add the two lines together, it is 6%.
Yeah, ever since the state had the brilliant idea of NVH restricted and regular NVH.
Somebody correct me if consumer price, cost of living increase, is it not 2 point something or 3% projected?
Comparable for us, it's barely over 3.
Right, yeah.
So this, either way, would be outpaced the cost of,
Yeah, outpaced
the
the cost.
national
You know,
cost
that's-
of living rate.
That's kind of what I look at a lot, you know. Keep it up.
We spent my bow, finish his book work.
Yes.
We'll give it to the slow kid.
Well, it's separated.
I'm just.
I know, it's
I
separated.
know it's a lot. We should probably do that ahead time next year.
So what Rick was telling us that he controls, is that correct in saying that?
The highway department runs off NVH distributions.
Right.
That is the state sends a specific amount of money each year.
So that makes it easier for him to control where the money goes and all this, is that correct with saying so?
Yes.
So it wouldn't affect our general fund at that point?
No, no.
Okay, so, I mean, with that must make them happy, in my opinion, you know, because it don't affect our general fund.
Yeah, he
You know,
basically controls his
If he
own.
thinks he can control it and make his employees happy as department head, hey, I'm all for that. And still get the work completed that the county needs done within that budget.
That's right.
Why aren't we doing it? You see what I'm saying? We're not affecting the county general fund. We're not costing the taxpayers no more by doing that. You know, it's just costing that department. Happy employees are better employees, I'm here to tell you that.
Well, the next guy in line, if he willing to do that. You're saying,
Well-
give him control of it, is that what you're saying?
Well, cause he control, cause
I
that
think what
money
he's
don't come
saying
out
is-
of general fund, it's not gonna affect us as taxpayers.
Give Rick what he's asked for in his budget, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, is that what
looking,
you're- okay, I see.
looking at
Yeah,
his
'cause it's not
clerical,
gonna affect the money coming out of your pocket, it ain't gonna affect Todd or that Todd, you see what I'm saying, or
and
mine.
looking at his clerical based on counties with the same population size, we're the lowest paid clerical staff in our highway department. Like, nobody's lower than us. So,
You go over and talk to Rick, he's pretty slick on all that
I've
stuff.
talked to Rick.
Yeah, he's pretty good on his stuff.
He's what he
He's
does,
very good.
Right.
He's one of the better ones.
and that's why we need
He's the best with overtime.
10 Rick.
Okay, how do you wanna do that?
So would the consensus be to allow the highway the budget that they have proposed?
I think
Yes.
theirs is pretty legit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just my personal opinion.
I don't disagree.
I
agree.
agree with that. And that gets his salaries comparable to those counties that are population-wise similar in size to ours. I mean, I look at our group and I'm thinking, okay, the closest one people could move to would be Jennings. You know what I mean? And we're even lower than them when it comes to highway department administrative support staff.
Yep.
That's good. Good.
We're actually significantly.
One down.
One down,
There you go.
We're 63 to go.
29 or 30 more to go.
Hallelujah.
Park is, I mean, I think theirs is okay too. John,
He didn't,
he didn't
he did
change.
not specify an increase. He's always,
And they're all self-funded.
yeah, they're all self-funded. He only has 2 full-time employees that's set in this budget. I mean, his budget is another one, it operates solely on its receipts. County General does pay the park manager his salary. But other than that,
Mhm. I don't think you have to do anything there.
so do you think
Park,
just the, whatever we decide on is a
yeah. that's
base?
Yeah, base. I think they would fall in that. And if you go to page 7's auditor.
You got anything to say? You
I
got
have
anything?
no opinion on it whatsoever. I love my job, so I'll be here.
You basically said you're gonna be here till you die,
I'll
right?
be here till I die. I will say, I
We're
mean,
good with that.
the staff down there,
We're really good with that.
they are excellent in my opinion.
You got a
They
good
work
staff.
hard,
Yeah.
but we also know where our financials stand, so.
So you're saying you're good with the 4 or 5%?
You guys are pretty well in the medium too, with everybody around us, so, and then even in population size, you guys are pretty comparable.
But I am not the boss either, so she may have a second different opinion than I do.
She was pretty modest though about it.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't think it's anybody's expectation that we're gonna bump our county, you know, all the way to the top. I think as long as
We're wanting to
we're middle of the road,
not be in the bottom two, you know? Or the last one.
As long as we're making strides to
I mean, I
get
think
up there.
we bumped some of that last year in the auditor's, budget, so kinda got it up to more comparable to the counties around, so I think that one's okay.
Next, 4% will be the base if we're gonna target different departments.
If we have the money.
Yeah, I mean, I still have to go back and figure this, but
Surveyor, if you look
we
at
have to have a
theirs,
sustainable budget.
page 8, ranking wise, as far as the surveyor goes, out of the counties in our population range between 25 and 30,000, we rank 3rd. It looks like in the surveyor pay line. 45,930, that was last year. Now they,
Based on that.
she put in for a 10% raise.
We're 3rd from the bottom or 3rd from the top?
Well, as far as the surveyor pay,
We're smack dab in, kind of in the middle.
kinda in the middle,
I almost say they need to just
cause they
take
range,
the blanket then.
yeah, I would think they would fall under the blanket too.
That's what I
Cause they're not, they're about middle road. Health department. She put in for 5,
Yeah,
Fine.
so I think she's, right there too with the blanket,
So 4% blanket?
yeah. Cause from what I can see, they're middle of the road too. Oh, let's see here.
Planning commission asked for 5.
They asked for 5. I'd leave them in the blanket too. Recorder. Put in for 10.
I'm gonna kind of stop you here. Back on 14, and I can't remember who asked me yesterday evening, but somebody asked about the general legal services consulting on page 14, where it went from 12,500 to 32,000.
Yes.
I can't remember which one of you it was.
They said it's because they split out their attorney, because the county attorney, it was too much.
Okay,
They
The
were
county.
pushing a lot of that to outside counsel because some of the cases they were running into, and he did say that, they haven't even used any of that legal services to this point from last year out of the 12,500.
okay, that's fine. I just remember
But-
somebody asked me yesterday afterwards.
He said
He
that
said
there's
it
some
was-
things,
He said it was billed and probably gone. It just
Yeah,
wasn't
right.
billed.
it hadn't hit yet.
Yeah.
That's the problem, so,
Well, whoever asked me, there's your answer.
there you go. Recorder, they put in for 10.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the bottom two.
They are in the bottom 2 on the pay scale in our population size.
So what would be middle of the road?
They rank, they rank 6th out of 7 in that.
What's number 2, number 3?
Well, if we're gonna do a 4% blanket, let's just do 6% for her then, because then that evens us back out to the 5 if we decide not to break it out by department.
True.
Depends on how many departments you use versus what you
Right.
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay.
Figure 6 on hers then, recorder.
Okay.
Cause she doesn't have that many employees
Right.
either, she's only got.
Three,
a couple.
I
Right.
Treasurer.
Asked for 6%.
She has for 6. They are in the bottom part. It looks like. Bottom 3 at 7.
That'd be 6%.
Then the 6 the same way, like we did.
I'd leave the 6 there on her too.
And she's being she's not
She
filling
has
that
been
junior
very
position
responsible.
until she needs
She
it.
said she wasn't gonna
She's
fill it
not
till
spending
she
that
needs
money?
it. Yeah,
Been very responsible.
money's
Right.
just laying
Being a
there.
good manager.
Yes, she has.
So,
Yeah.
6%.
Okay.
Weed board, they were at 4, so I just leave that. They were already asked for 4.
What about
Extension, that's what he's
extension?
talking about.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
extension.
4.
Yeah, that's what they asked for.
That's what their counterparts at Purdue were receiving as well. I think that would be,
Yeah. Coroner asked for 5. They, they're actually in the top half of what the pay does in the
Yeah, they've got big raises in the past.
And
counties.
then we've got the consideration of
the vehicle. Yeah.
I would put them in the gym. And
I'd say if we get her a different vehicle where she doesn't have to ride around with the body in the back of a Durango, she probably gonna be happy.
I'd leave her at the 4.
Okay.
I would be. I would be too. Absolutely.
Leave her at the
I can't
4.
imagine that.
Veterans. He asked for
10%.
is the 13,
13%.
just on him,
But you do gotta look at
but
the difference between the part-time and him, which isn't a lot.
if you look, he give us a geographical distribution,
The amount of money that comes
on
into
the
the county.
VA, and he's bringing in some money. And,
Almost $10 million.
yeah,
He brings in a lot.
He
Yeah.
does,
Provides a lot of service.
he's helped my family out, my little sister, and he does phenomenal work, so.
Yeah.
Does do a very
He,
good
he
job.
does better than other surrounding counties, I do know that.
There's people from surrounding counties coming.
Well, I was
because of
wondering
how
that,
good it
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
That says something.
so what do you wanna do there? Cause that's
6.
just his pay was the only thing that was increasing.
6%?
Put him at the 6,
No.
the higher of the 2,
Yeah.
okay?
I think Andrew was thinking a little more, wasn't he?
I mean, I think he's entitled, I mean, he doesn't really ever ask for a lot, and he comes in and he brings money into the county and he does such a good job and,
So what do you think?
Well, it's just, the good thing with his department, it's one guy, you know, pretty much. He
Yeah.
has some part-time helper, but it's not a lot. So if you, I mean, that's up to you
I
guys.
appreciate 6%.
So a 6% is gonna give him just barely over 40,000, and 8% would put him at 41,489. That's what an 8% would be. I'd say somewhere in that ballpark is,
I would say 8.
So you're adding another layer to this now, we're going 4,
Well,
6,
that's my concern, how many
10,
layers you gonna
12.
go?
You're gonna give the clerk 20, her 20 she asked for?
no. Well, maybe if we take it out of commissioner's pay, but
You know I don't care.
So 8 on the veterans? Or 6?
I'm good with 8. I
Rank
mean,
wise, he's not, and given his geographical size, I mean, that one's kind of way off.
he gets no longevity, has nothing built in there on longevity.
It's because it's paid out of county general,
County general.
under
Oh.
the commissioner's budget.
Okay, sorry.
That's fine.
I'm
You're learning,
I'm
He
learning.
gets it, it's just not showing.
yeah.
I'm just, yeah.
well, I think there did need to be a little bit more separation from him as part-time guy too. Not taking anything away from Rick. Rick does a very good job too, but
Andrew, I know he eats and breathes it, so.
Right.
You
You
run
can tell
into
he-
him, you run into him out in public, he's eating and breathing it, you know.
Yeah.
Michelle, is there any other difficulty in having about 6 different levels? No? Okay, 8%, I'm.
Fair him at 8,
Okay.
and let's see where it falls. Assessor asked for 10. They fell, let's see, I lost my place. Assessor's bottom two on the counties of our size. They actually were the bottom one, ranked 7.
I would do the 6.
Yeah, I would figure 6
Yeah.
for them too. Okay. Let's see.
Excuse me.
The reassessment,
That just falls into
that
the
falls into
assessment.
6.
Okay.
So clerk, and here, she's got some 21, 22% increases in all of her lines there between the, she falls in the bottom 2 on the population size.
Go to 6.
I feel like they're gonna need at least the 6, too.
Yeah,
I agree.
That's
we
what
can
you
do 6, yeah.
Where'd that put them?
That would put 'em-
Puts them in a lot better shape than they.
Yeah, they're in a lot better
Right.
shape than what they would have been. That's gonna move,
I mean, them first ones I see were there in the $30-some thousand to come to work every day. What they're making now.
Well, they're gonna be in the 40s,
yeah, they'll be up in the 40s
so.
once that's done at 6, so.
Well,
And 5 years ago, they were in the 30s.
They're still in the 30s today.
Right.
One at 6% still leaving in the bottom.
the bottom.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, so her numbers is correct, is what she's saying. And even compared to the other offices we look at here within the county.
Maybe 10% then?
I say leave them at 6, that's my.
I say leave it at 6.
I agree with that.
I wish we could do more, but
You're an accountant there.
Let's see,
EMA,
EMA, which we
you moved it.
moved her to full-time, so
So,
and we already set that amount.
$50,080 is what I have.
50,080, yeah. So that doubles, almost doubles her salary. She's going from part to full.
Well,
Technically,
if you count her dispatch and EMA, her
Right,
salary's
she was right.
47,196, yeah.
yeah. But
Half of that will be covered,
half of that's covered.
Yes,
will be
yes.
reimbursed. Right.
Let's see, soil and water. They didn't ask for anything. They want the office supplies, that was it, so you don't have to do anything there.
I would
Just
keep it at
the blanket.
2,000, the office supplies.
Keep the office supplies
Yeah.
at 2,000?
Yes.
I think.
I was
you know
on the
more about
board.
that, you was
Yeah.
on the board.
They'll be happy, yeah.
How much?
2,000 on the
2,000
office
on
supplies.
office supplies, so their budget would be the same as it was last year.
Salary increase or?
Well, let's see.
I don't think that's one of the things that are broke out in the fact book. The soil and
It's
water,
not.
yeah,
It's not.
Cause not every county has.
When it was originally set on the office manager position, it was based on the first deputy, is what it was based on at that time.
Yeah, I think it still is.
Which, yeah, they're at 39,268.
So am I hearing 4?
I would, yeah, just the normal. Cemetery. I don't really feel like that guy needs any more money to mow. Where's that guy at? Who is that guy? Yeah, strictly volunteer. Yeah, I'd say leave that one alone. $2,000 increase, but the cost of fuel alone probably bump that. EMS. So we're back to that. They asked for 4, is what he had down there, I guess.
Some of them figured 6.
Yeah, some of them figured higher than
Mm-hmm. Some of them aren't broke out, so you don't.
that. Yeah, so it's not, it's hard to tell, cause there's. I'd say leave it at the 4 because of the overtime for now, until we figure out what we're gonna do there.
Okay, but you got some lines like EMT went from 132 to 183. I don't know if it's because we're trying to hire another one.
We ain't gonna get that.
Yeah, I see that. I didn't catch that yesterday.
He asked for that floater.
Yeah, didn't he bury the floater in that line?
Yeah.
Did he say he did?
Well, that's
Yeah,
fine,
I
but
think he
then we'll
did.
take
I
it out of
think
their overtime
Yeah,
to pay for it.
so, that's why that percentage difference is the way it does.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, leave him at the 4, I guess.
Did you hear what I said?
Take it out of their overtime.
To pay for that position.
Yeah. Good.
I don't even know if that can be done, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I don't know that he can schedule that. You really need to go out. I'm not even sure I can explain, because I don't see his schedule. But every aspect of his schedule is built on employees. All employees have built-in overtime. And due to their shift, I don't think you can do it. It's no different than a fireman. They're gonna have built-in overtime,
But neighboring counties are working 36-hour weeks,
okay?
is what they're doing.
Okay.
They don't build that 48-hour weekend.
Okay, and he will tell you that if I go to that kind of schedule, half of them will walk out. That's what I'm telling you.
'Cause our base pay per hour is lower, so they make it up in the overtime hours, is what he's always explained to me.
They're
'Cause
working those
I've had
kind of
this
shifts, they've
conversation.
gotta be under a private service.
Well, I'm just saying, you gotta,
They
where are you
got
gonna
it.
come up with that money from?
General stipend.
They want, it should've went to 700,000, we said it's 650,000. You're still not there.
I know,
I'm just saying,
I know. I'm just telling you. the
I know, I'm just saying, if you send them a message that overtime's being cut by this much, you gotta figure it out.
The message.
We're gonna give you another employee.
Yeah, the message will be received, and it should help his overtime, so,
Right.
but as far as the particulars of his schedule, honestly, I don't know, and I don't think anybody wants to know.
Oh, I do.
Because it's well, I mean, you can figure it out, but it is a juggling act.
I'm not saying it's not.
I mean, it's not just a matter of making out a schedule, because at the last minute, a day or two after you get this schedule made up, somebody won't show up for work. Then the juggling becomes, instead of trying to juggle 3 balls, you're trying to juggle 5. I can't explain it to you. He can, and
it would be beneficial, you and I can run out there sometime, because honestly, I can't explain his schedule. But he can.
I think after the second ambulance board meeting, I actually went out there, sat down and talked to him, and Mike can learn a lot, you know what I'm saying? It's like, cause I was thinking the way you was. He goes, oh no, the ones we got don't want that shit, they want this, cause that makes up the difference in their hourly rate. Right, Phil? It
And you'll be hard pressed to find any paramedic, no matter which county you go to, that doesn't have that same opinion, cause it's
Todd-
like a big family. They all
Todd, the sad, cold truth is, and it's like this in the private sector too, we are being held hostage by our employees. They know, we know it. When we go changing schedules around, heading home and cutting into their income,
But as their managers, we don't just give them free rein. We control their budgets.
yeah,
And we say, you have to live within this budget.
I know.
It's, and I'm saying we cut $50,000 out of their overtime, we give them another position, and they gotta figure out how to make it work.
I agree. Yeah.
We can't just keep saying, oh, we can't figure it in 10 years. It's not sustainable. So this is my suggestion.
Yeah. I'm
So you're saying cut his overtime to 150?
And give them that other
Give
EMT
him the EMT line
and give them 4% raises.
for the floater.
okay.
Did we remember, what was the EMT, was that the 74,000?
Well, but they got it budgeted in here at 183,750.
74,091 is what he said the EMT floater would cost.
Okay,
74,091.
I'll get you a list of employees, cause that line is 2 or 3 different.
It's
I mean, it's
3,
not
I
just-
believe, 3 or
Right.
4.
Well, and if they're part-time
Yeah,
EMT, it'll come out of that line. If they're part-time paramedic, it'll come out of the part-time paramedic line. Same way with advancement, so it's just not full-time people that are setting in this line.
Right, but what I'm saying is he's already got budgeted,
Oh, okay.
that went from 132 to 183. He's already got that
Okay.
budgeted.
Yeah.
So we don't
So
have
I
to
don't
add
need
in
to
another
add- okay.
74,000.
Okay.
yeah, you don't need to add it in.
He's
Okay.
already requested.
My
We're just,
question is, so on the, 12400 overtime line, you wanna cut that to 150?
so he'd requested $217,662. And to know it to the exact penny is because it's built in.
That's exactly right.
True.
And I know, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Neighboring counties are doing 36-hour shifts, and they're not doing that. We're gonna figure it out.
So overtime and vacation, what we gonna do?
Do you wanna cut that overtime line 50,000?
Yes.
You will be,
getting an additional appropriation at
Yeah,
the end of
it'll
the
hit.
year.
you will be getting an additional appropriation.
Yeah.
We give them an extra person. We're telling them to manage their people, manage their budget.
But that won't be enough. What I'm saying is, and I'm not, I don't mean to be argumentative, I can just tell you what's gonna happen. There will be an additional. He will not be willing, nor am I sure that he can devise a 36-hour system. I'm not sure. Too many unknowns, but
Can we tell him we're giving him the floater with the assumption that he's gonna do all he can to cut the overtime?
That would have to be, yeah.
But you would think it would cut it then.
It would have to.
I think he mentioned too that it was gonna help with his part-time situation, that he didn't have enough part-time.
He did say that, and you're correct, it should help with that.
yeah, I'm all in favor of
you know, asking somebody to try a little harder.
So what you're saying is, we're giving you the floater, we need you to cut your overtime, but you don't wanna cut the overtime out of that line.
Well, you
That's all.
can, you can. but
Todd's
we'll-
just saying that you may have to add it later.
That's right. Right. And we all know Michelle doesn't like.
But we
this.
can't sit here and say that it's okay right now for him to do that.
Alright.
We have to say, you have to live by this
Alright,
budget
well then cut it.
and make it work.
150, 1,500.
I don't just get to keep going back to bank saying, hey, I want more money,
Well, you can, you just got to sign.
but eventually they're gonna say no.
I'm joking. Alright, cut that line to 150 on the overtime. And we'll deal with it.
That's still over $10,000 per person in overtime.
And then are we giving him his person?
Picking up what you're putting
And that's how we're funding it.
4% raise.
4% raise, giving him the floater, cutting the overtime to 150.
That 183 stays the same.
183, 750 will stay the same, that includes the floater,
Yes.
because that's the difference.
So we're taking the 15 off of the 217, 662 that Mike gave us when he was out here. He added 16,162 to the 201,500 that was written there.
That's
So
correct.
that made it 217,662. So that means you're taking 50,000 off of the 217,662.
Correct.
Because Michelle's gonna need to know that, so,
Yes,
okay,
you're correct.
alright.
What would the figure be then?
So it'll be 167.
167 instead of
You're
one,
gonna have scribble marks. Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
clear as mud.
Okay.
Okay, all right, so jail bond, court bond, that's nothing we can do there. 32,
35 is your next one.
Thank you.
35 would be the next one, which was the Superior Court. No change. So just leave them, leave them at the 4, the low end.
I know we tried it at one time to, but is, this, are we required by the state to give him that $5,000?
Yes. I think that's where his, I believe, correct, somebody correct, me, but I think that's where the suit threat came in.
No,
No, that was,
That
this
was the
is,
employees.
this is Superior Court,
Oh,
Yeah,
not Circuit.
I believe we
Judge
had
Houch.
Alyssa research that, and I think.
Yeah, she
I
said
think we're
that
supposed to.
we're supposed to, that's what she told us when we talked to her about it. But do you wanna, I mean, he didn't ask for anything,
we'll
So
stay with
it's-
the length,
up to you.
whatever we agree on. It's up to us. He didn't ask for anything, but,
You're not required to,
wow.
but it's a good gesture to
Well,
do,
yeah.
because one of them has to stay in the county all the time.
Right. So you just wanna leave his alone?
Yeah, I guess.
He's not talking about the 5,000, he's talking about.
I'm talking about
Percentage of the raise.
percentage, are we
Because
gonna give them the 4%?
for the reporters.
For the reporters, he didn't ask for it, but are we gonna give him the blanket for it?
He just assumes that they will get the same thing
They'll
every other.
Take
employee.
what everybody else takes.
Exactly. Yeah.
He
Okay,
doesn't even
4%.
He doesn't ask, but leave him at the
ask,
4.
But he expects.
Right.
Right,
Oh,
it wouldn't be fair to not give him anything.
Yeah. I'd hate to go in court in front of him after that.
Yeah,
That could happen.
Circuit Court, page 36, he asked for 10.
Where are they falling in the book
Um,
on court reporters?
find it.
Yeah, I know, I'm gonna have to have another break.
No. Huh?
so they're 44,000. 25.
see court reporter in there anywhere, Karen? Did you see them? And
Yes,
I
they are on,
couldn't find it.
they're on page 39, that's where they start,
39.
38 and 39. So if you want Washington County, you've gotta be on page 41.
Yeah. Page 41, 43. Oh, yeah, there, I did do it.
We're in the second from the bottom, it looks like.
Yeah, they were ranked 4th out of the 5 that reported, I think. No, actually, they were 3rd at the high end,
Yeah, I noticed that, it was just on that position.
so they were about middle of the road.
Middle of the road.
Oh, I get you.
What did we decide?
I said
Well,
6%.
They're about the middle of the road.
What page you on?
On
36.
page 36, he asked for 10.
Oh, okay, that's what I was at, and
I think they're middle of the road, I'd leave it at the 4.
Okay. 4 to bottom 2.
They're the bottom two.
They're in the bottom two, and it,
Well,
If you look at the court
they
report.
range those. So, the high end, it's, what I see shows 37,569 to 45,375. Nope, I'm looking at the wrong one, sorry about that, got getting confused. You're right, they actually are in the bottom end.
I think maybe 6.
6?
Maybe put them at the 6.
Thank you.
What about the,
Yeah, I was looking.
Are you ready?
3,000 increase on the law books?
Well, here's the problem with the law books.
We talked about
We went
last
through
year.
this 3 years ago, I think, Karen, you probably remember, and he
Leave it alone.
threw a fit.
Leave it alone.
If-
Yeah, but we cut it down last year.
you can get them online,
I
though.
know, but
I
I
get
agree
it,
with you.
but here's what happens, if you
It's on
don't,
the internet.
he'll just mandate it.
No, man.
And I mean, I
But
know,
did he mandate it last year when we cut it?
No.
You might be able to cut it a little.
no,
So what if we do half? He's asking for 10, so we give him 15 instead of 20. I mean, that
it's up to
sounds
the
like,
council, that's up to you guys,
I mean, that
That
sounds
puts
like a
him,
fair
that puts him
compromise.
back to where he was in 24.
Yeah. Well, put it at 15.
Yeah.
He'll let us know real
You'll let us
quick.
know. You'll let us know.
Go 15.
I mean,
That's fine.
it's gonna be.
I don't disagree with you, I'm just saying.
Nobody disagrees with you.
quick question, you're doing 6% for circuit and 4% for superior?
No, we'll have to go back and change that.
I'm just asking, I just
Yeah,
wanna make
yeah,
sure I'm
keep
getting all
Yeah,
this
you
down.
need to keep them close.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yep, there's already a gap in their payroll.
Yeah, they're 42, 525, and
You're right.
the others are 40, well, they're 42, 525.
No, we can't do them any different.
I think you need to do them the same.
Well, most of your superior is the same as his 12401 account currently.
Yeah.
So they're exactly the same there. So maybe instead of doing, maybe, I mean, I hate to say, well, what's that gonna do to the division between the assistant court reporter 2 and 4, you know what I mean, that are at different levels? Well, actually, his 4 and his, 12401 and 12603 are exactly the same. If you're in the 4 and you give the others the 6, are you gonna make the 6s go over the ranking of the 4, or are you gonna close that gap between the distinction of their duties within that job? That's something you've gotta think about. So technically, I'm thinking that all of his in Superior are ranked at the same as the other judges. So if you just did blankets at both rates for the same for each one, then, you know what I mean? I'm thinking he's got them right in line
Right, I see
with,
what you're saying.
with the ranking of these reporters within the other court system. So I say, as long as you do the same raise across the board for both departments, you're still gonna keep that difference between the levels of their job. And if they are in the bottom, then you're looking at that entire court system doing the 6, you know what I mean? Because technically, if you sit here and break it out, they're one and the same when it comes to what they're currently being paid.
So it just comes down to whether you wanna do,
And they've done, to the judge's credit, they've done a good job of getting those pauper fees down,
For sure.
which was a huge issue.
it was a big thing, you're right.
That was a huge issue.
Back several
in
years
the
ago.
past. Yeah.
So do you wanna do the 4 or
Where
the
are
6?
they're ranking, they're ranking 5th, aren't they?
Yeah, they were in the bottom.
No, actually, they're ranking 6th.
Let's go
Which one?
Court reporter,
6%.
Yeah, let's do the 6th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 on both, then.
Okay.
6 on Superior, 6 on Circuit. Figure that. Okay.
Public defender, 37.
Public defender,
Yeah, 2, 3,
3 and 5 is what I, yeah, or 2 and 3.
2 and 3.
So leave them at the 4.
Yeah.
Leave them at the 4. Probation,
Probation, the only page you have to worry about on that is page 41, that has the 2 secretarial positions out there.
Standard.
41.
Just say it's a standard.
I don't know what happened to my page 41. Did I rip it out? No, there it is. He asked for 5. Or she asked for 5.
Stay with the
Leave them at the 4.
Leave them at the 4.
Leave them at the 4, because we jumped there some, quite a bit. So
Your
that
next one
goes,
is page 49.
yep,
Thank you.
49. 10, 3, 10, and 10 is what was asked.
6.
The secretaries are on the lower end of county employee at 38,000. And then for the deputy prosecuting attorney was asked for 3.
So 6% for the
Secretaries?
office staff and 3% for the
Yes.
attorneys.
Yeah.
6 and 3. Making it difficult.
Let's see.
6 for the
That-
office staff.
The rest of the prosecutor just falls in with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would follow that, so page should take you all the way
To 54.
54,
People,
good, which is sheriff's department. We made a significant increase in theirs last year, so I'd leave it at the 4.
Yep.
That's what everybody thinks. Everybody wanna leave sheriff forward?
I mean, it's,
Yeah.
That's for 3.
so
Well, that's a plus.
that's good.
I say 3.
Yeah. Give him what he asked for.
Give him what he asked for then.
3.
3.
You going with 3?
Give him what he asked for.
Well, we jumped theirs
Yeah, they.
kinda out of turn, so.
Huge jump.
Yeah, I know, yeah. I
Big
did.
bump, so leave them at the 3.
Yeah, we did. We did.
55 detention center, I have the line item 13101, we are zeroing out. Does everybody have that on there?
Yeah,
55.
yes, let's see, that was, 13101
Yes.
dispatch EMA, yes.
Okay.
That's strike that out. And then he asked for 15 on the correctional officers, which
I've seen go over 6.
I have it here somewhere.
Those people. Well, he didn't ask for it.
He asked for 15.
In his email, where were they? Did he give that to us?
Yeah, I made copies for you all and handed them out yesterday.
Yeah, he also said.
Right here.
Dispatchers,
So in correctional officers, we're third from the bottom.
Out of
Yeah.
how many?
I don't think you heard you, Tony.
Yeah, out of how
Seven.
many?
7,
7?
yeah.
So it's mid-range. But when then everybody else gets your raises, where we going?
One thing, the top 2 are counties probably, maybe we wouldn't think, so it'd probably put in the middle of the pack if you take out Clark and
Well,
Floyd.
that's what you have to do, you gotta take those high dollar.
He
guys out.
said, according to his email, said, based on my salary study, the average starting salary for correctional officer in surrounding counties in June of 25, throwing out the top and the bottom counties, the average is 42,736.
Puts us 2,000 below that.
Our correctional officers are 2344 below average of 25. I'm asking for, he said 13.5% increase.
If we did the 6%, it would bring us up to about $42,800, which would be right in line with,
Yep, 40, throwing out the top and the bottom, he said they were, the average was 42,736. You said it'd be 42,8
yeah,
at the 6.
yes.
Let's go to 6 then.
Let's do 6.
Do the 6, everybody good?
I'm good.
All right, 6% on those then,
for correctional officers.
for correctional officers.
Did you guys figure out 911? Cause I found that one in the book on page 21 for 911
Have we got the
dispatchers.
911 yet?
Well, there's dispatchers,
I thought you
Yeah,
guys
some of the
had-
dispatchers
Oh,
sat
yes.
in.
correctional.
Ours is the bottom.
Yeah, I remember looking at that. Well, you wanna do them at the,
I mean, we can't afford to do what, they were wanting, what, 13 or 15 or something?
15?
15,
We can't afford that.
no. So what would be middle of the range, Karen, on what you're looking at?
Take out the very top.
Let's see, dispatcher.
11%.
Is what it would take.
I think.
6% would put them at $42,815.
Then they would be in line with the correctional officers.
Right.
That's a
Which is where
dispatch.
they're at now.
Right.
But not the average of the 7 counties with a population like ours. They are at the bottom.
Yeah, true. But I don't think, I would rather leave them.
But-
comfortable with 6%, put them comfortable with correction.
I've got 7 brings them to 43,219.
So the other thing you gotta figure, I mean, the amount of overtime that
Yeah.
is built in to their schedule.
Dispatch too, that's, yeah.
On the sheriff's department budget, it was $5,300 per employee that it figured out in overtime. So when we're figuring these numbers, you almost gotta add in, they're already getting $5,300 in overtime.
But that overtime schedule hopefully will change, right? We've been talking about doing away with that forever, but they don't wanna do it. I understand why the employees don't want it.
But talking to other counties, so we run 3 most time in there. You have the shift supervisor and 2 dispatchers. Most people run 1 shift supervisor, or only have 2 in there at a time on a county of our size. And you looked at the average number of calls per day, it wasn't an abundance of calls for the time frame. I mean, it was 2 hours worth of calls throughout the day is all it amounted to. Doing the math with the sheet that they gave us. I can't imagine that 2 people could not handle that.
Maybe there are other things they gotta do.
I'm not saying that there's not, and there shouldn't be times when the administrators should have time to do administration work. But I'm just saying, all the time, every day, I don't think you need 3.
If you leave them at the 6, they're the
I
same.
would leave them at 6 just because we can't eliminate the overtime immediately. So there's still gonna be that, and then 6% bringing them.
Leave them at the 6 too, is my opinion.
I mean, that's what I
Everybody's okay with that.
But again, I think we should look at their overtime budget
Oh, yeah.
and trim it,
We need to look at that too.
which is on 56, I think, isn't it?
56, yes.
So that
So-
was correctional officers you were doing 6% on, correct?
Correctional
And 911.
yeah, dispatch.
What do you got now?
Requested 286,000.
How much were you thinking to drop that?
I think if you leave them where they're at is more than enough at 218,000. I think they need to get fully staffed, and if they need additional money for signing bonus, they need, we gotta figure it out some other way than just keep adding overtime.
Yeah. Well, if you look at their overtime line right now, just on that, department, they've used 134,000 of the 218.
But again, part of that's because it's built into their,
It's because it's built
They know it's
in,
coming.
right. It's like an open checkbook.
yeah.
Leave it the same.
At the maximum, I didn't cut it, but that's me.
I definitely don't wanna dial 911 and say, put on hold. Because we cut it, you know.
Oh, I'm not either, but I think there's enough people.
I think that it's gonna be an unknown factor until we figure out, we're gonna be adding this buyouts again. You know, if that's cheaper to do that and that Shady's,
Yeah, there's some questions gotta be answered.
yeah, we've gotta answer some questions before
Well,
we,
Make a good decision.
So-
And if we're gonna do that, then you've gotta cut even more out of the overtime, if you're gonna buy it back, cause that's how you're gonna fund that,
Well,
correct?
I'm gonna suggest dropping it 50,000, see what,
I'd just leave it at the 218.
leave it at 218. And then get our questions answered.
Mhm.
and
We've
then
got
we'll-
till October to,
Then we'll answer our questions.
alright, leave it at 218.
Did you get that, Michelle?
But Karen, is that what you're thinking?
We're gonna leave the overtime
I
budget
mean,
Okay,
on the,
thinking we
on
just
public safety at
try to get
218.
answers to those questions. I
At
mean, I just
218?
texted Brent
Yeah.
because
And then
I
we
was
have to
wondering
answer
if
the
it would
questions
help
that
him, and he's like,
we're-
it could
We're
see
waiting on
where it
some
would
answers
help.
from,
Well-
But he would like to see it broken out separately, like overtime versus vacation and holiday and all that stuff, like we used to break it out. He said it's hard to
Okay,
know the numbers
Brent
under the same line, so.
originally just asked for 218 for his department. Remember, I told you we had to roll the 911 dispatcher overtime over into public safety.
So is that why it went
So
from
40,
218?
that is why it went from 218 to 286. If you go to your 911 budget, you'll notice his overtime line is gone because we had to put it.
okay.
So
Okay.
45,000 of that is 911 dispatcher overtime.
So it should be 218 plus 45.
Yeah, that's how you got the 286.
Mm,
Did I not add right?
Yeah, it didn't come up to 286.
Well,
218,
Be 263.
yeah,
okay, make it 260.
plus
Let's do that.
Mm-mm.
260.
Oh, well, I don't care.
Mm.
What do you think?
Well, it's like,
If they get fully staffed
I
on
see what he's
911,
saying, yeah.
they don't
should have.
need, they don't have to build in that much overtime. If you do, you've gotta figure that in as their part of their pay, and then we're not gonna give them the 6%. It's one or the other, but we're not gonna keep doing both.
You tell us where you're,
I mean, maybe we leave a pin in that for right now until we figure out what we're doing on the other.
so what do you say? You said drop it to the
218.
218.
Okay,
The sheriff needs to get fully staffed, 911 needs to get fully staffed, manage their budgets.
which they're saying they are pretty much. That's what Kelly said anyway. So leave it at the 218.
Yes.
So I have 6% correctional, 6% dispatchers,
Yes.
and officers 3%. That's what I understood.
That's what was requested,
Okay.
yes,
That's what he requested.
yes.
Okay,
And then cut the overtime.
yeah.
Got
Okay,
it.
no.
218.
On page 59.
Commissioner's budget.
What did we decide on the fairground?
by the next committee.
So I guess we're panning out right now.
Yeah, you're still gonna need approximately the same amount of money, whether it's someone else mowing, whether it's keep the position, whatever. You're gonna still need approximately the same amount of money.
Well, that's not changes. Right.
Fairgrounds, we're gonna keep approximately the same amount of money, whether we have it subcontracted or continue what we've been doing.
So I'm leaving the 30,941 or the 28,917 or
I don't know.
See what she's saying.
Where- 3941 come from?
That's Todd's baby, ain't it?
Not this Todd.
That Todd. No, she changed the Todd.
Not this Todd. So that would basically be a 7% increase is what it would be from the numbers that are on here right now. Is what that would be.
Well, just for the sake of simplicity, whatever the raises in we put in for
4%.
We made some strikes on that.
what did we decide on commissioners and council?
Oh,
Anything?
commissioners and council. I personally don't like moving it myself, but that's my opinion.
What are you gonna change in the rate?
Yeah.
moving what?
What was your question?
Council commissioners.
The council and commissioner pay.
Well, you know, you gotta look at it.
I think we decrease it.
I've been on the council 10 years, and they haven't had a substantial raise, just a standard. And the commissioners is barely creeping up, but I was thinking 84 for the commissioners, that gives them 28. And 60 for the council.
Hey, if we're all about saving money, I'm gonna do my part.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I do.
I'm fine to forego one.
You're
So
fine
Karen
with-
says,
I'm fine to just forego and not give my.
I think you got 4 that say 0.
or does it say 0
Yeah.
So,
for council?
Perfect.
Commissioners, same way? Yes, no?
Just keep it the
I
same.
don't know. For what they go through. 0.
You don't, in my opinion, you don't do it for the money,
No,
for the
Yeah.
service.
yeah, you definitely ain't doing it for the money.
4%, 4% for each one then.
That's my call. Just one vote.
So council 0,
No,
No.
4%.
Do we need
Right.
to do a?
And commission,
show of
4%.
hands or something on this, or-
yeah, I just need a consensus of what you all wanna do.
Yeah, 4% for both.
That's a consensus with me. If that's not a consensus with you guys, then
I say 0.
I got Gerald as a 0, I got Bubba as a 0. I got
I'm a 0.
Andrew as a 0, Brad as a 0,
so we're good.
Todd as a 0 for council. Or for both?
Both.
Both,
both.
Both.
both,
Both.
both, okay.
That's a consensus.
We just got railroaded.
Yep.
Bill.
think that when we're trying to make tough decisions, it is not, just my opinion, it's not a good look to give ourselves a raise.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Yeah.
It look like he's gonna kill you now.
I think they expect us to give us our, the standard. The community does, you know, they don't expect us to do it for
How many hours
nothing,
you
but.
put in? How many hours you put in as a council member? How many? Be honest.
I get a lot of phone calls,
Do?
yeah. I
How
do.
many hours do you actually put into it?
Separate from that, I understand what you're saying, Preston, and I'm just saying that was my opinion, that's how I felt. I'm not saying that your opinion is not more important than mine, I'm just saying that's just my
That's
personal.
why there's 7 of us.
So there's 7 of us, and that's the way I put it.
There was a raise given last year, and I just don't think this is the year. I mean, I want to lead by example with it.
With the unknowns,
Yeah,
I don't wanna move it this year.
no.
I'm good with that.
That's my opinion, but I'm one vote, so
Yeah, one.
it's up to everybody.
So you got a consensus, right?
I got a consensus.
All right, where we at now?
Park and Rec Director.
As for 6.
Is that John?
Yeah, that's John.
I'd do it at the 4.
Okay.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Agree. Yep.
And I don't think he'll have a problem with that.
Page 61, and then I believe that is it.
You did a good job keeping us moving.
'61, we cut the, part-time to 5,
He's got 2.
cut the,
Supplies.
operating supplies to 25, and cut the courtyard and grounds to 4.
Which actually lowered the budget from last year to 614, 415.
And on I guess you just have those 3 positions, custodian,
Yes.
maintenance, and custodian 2. I would do them, my personal opinion's at the 4.
Yes.
Are you okay? I mean, if everybody else is okay with that.
I'm good with that.
I'm good with that.
They work hard.
Yep.
I mean, Tony, he friggin'.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking 4 or 6.
He's all over it, I mean,
Yeah,
but, you know.
okay.
The only other question is the part-time rate.
On that.
What's the birthday rate?
I don't bring my paper up here with me, my salary ordinance. You remember what it is? 15, so.
What's the question?
Question on part-time rate. I believe it's 15 something right now
Can't remember
per hour.
I need to go.
No.
I don't have any idea.
Hang on, I'll tell you.
The
Other than
part-time rate
that,
for
I
the
think the
custodians,
only other
is that
thing
what
we
we're talking
had,
about, or just part-time rate?
were we gonna do anything about the corners vehicle, or did we decide we were waiting?
We're gonna wait until we get more info,
Okay.
But we're gonna bring it out of
but we'll take it out of edit.
Okay.
Is probably the best bet there.
Well, the part-time rate's only gonna touch very few, small amount of people, isn't it? What we're talking about?
Yeah, it's just a small amount.
We do got one thing we need to go back and look at, I think. On the recorder and the auditor, we made the recorder making a little more. The auditor.
Cause there was a couple years that her staff got raises and the auditor didn't get a raise.
I agree with that, I think we need to
So,
look at that.
and that's been here, that's been since I've been on the council in the last 6 or 7 years, so we need to.
Yeah, that
look
needs to be looked
because
at,
that
and
didn't, I know she didn't give
I'll
herself
check
one.
everybody else's as I
Yeah, do that.
go through and
Yeah,
do
she
my
can- why don't you
percentages,
check
that way, I already know on them too,
Right.
but I'll check.
Check the others.
Appreciate
I
that.
mean,
Yeah.
cause the recorder's office is definitely in the bottom 2, whereas the other staff within the auditor's office is right in the middle of the road, but all the recorder's office is at the bottom. But like I said, Kyra forgave
Her raise.
a raise, I know, at least 1 or 2 years there where
To
her
help her
position never
employees.
went up. So
Yeah, right.
or it went up by less than other people
The
to get
percent,
it.
you're right.
You wanna finish the part-time part, or are you still looking at it?
Thank you for bringing that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm glad you
Slow.
guys brought that up.
Yes.
because we would've missed that.
I say keep the part-time rate, they said it affects very few people.
If it doesn't affect a lot of,
It doesn't
I'd leave
affect a lot of,
I would keep
Cause I think the
it's 15
assessor's
something.
office and the treasurer's office brings in part-time, don't they? During.
well, the
Some-
treasurer actually
she
uses
actually
the
cut
floater
hers.
Yeah,
from the
Yeah.
recorder's
She-
office.
yeah.
It is.
And the surveyor's office,
Right.
so.
yeah, they've been working across,
Mhm.
I'm okay with it,
Same,
where is it at
Part-time.
now?
yeah,
4%,
15 something, I think.
yeah,
or keeping it the same as,
just keep it the same as what it is right now.
Yeah, leave
Okay,
it
I mean,
alone.
it's something we're gonna wanna visit,
Down the road,
down the
maybe.
road here soon, because of inflation.
All right,
So you want to go back to 7 to the auditor? Is that what you want to do?
she's gonna look at them.
Oh, just look at them
She
all.
pulls
Okay.
them and makes
I mean,
sure.
Sorry.
that's the only two positions,
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
the only example I have right
That's the only
now.
position that's,
Out of balance.
you know, out of balance. The deputies within those offices is not out of balance. It's
They're
just
okay.
the- It's just the elected official
Well, yeah,
positions
let's level it.
that are out of balance by doing that.
And she said she was gonna go ahead and do it for all of them, and see where it all.
All right. Are we okay to break for lunch?
We're coming back?
We don't.
I didn't think we'd come back.
You don't wanna come, we don't need to come back?
Well, it depends,
It's
what
gonna-
else is on your all's,
Well,
I mean, because there's no way I can have these
yeah, it's gonna
figures.
take a while.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
He's got.
Yeah, I guess we're done then, pretty much.
Paige, one
Yeah, that's-
thing real quick.
Oh,
Got one thing.
Which position is that
What page?
on here? The nurse?
No,
Oh, the food,
Yeah.
okay.
Page 9?
What is the general raise we're giving to the health department?
it was a 4.
4?
I think. Hang on, I'll have to look.
Yes, 4.
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, I got 4.
Alright, what page are they on in this book again?
Page 9,
Nine.
oh, there.
This one,
Yeah.
What is it?
the health department people?
Yeah. Be 9 and 10.
It's 19 in this other book.
Oh,
He's got glasses on, maybe he.
I think it's 15.
nobody can see?
There you go. It's right there.
Can you not zoom in?
Oh, look at you.
1569.
Look at him being all smart.
I thought it messed us
I
up
think,
because we're on it remotely, so.
I think we need to look at like the food health specialist number within the health department. Because if they're considered the environmental health specialist in the book, we're in the bottom one on that position alone. All the others seem to be kind of more in line or in the top part, but the food specialist is not.
Is that the 10603?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Who is that food specialist?
What about the vital records assistant?
That one falls under, the clerical ones that are back here, and that one was more in line.
39,000?
Yeah, that one was okay, but this one here, we're way low on that one. So, cause we're at 37, and it's at, we're on the bottom one. I don't know where, like, it's taking the nurse part here, but the environmental health specialist
It's
is,
gone.
that food is part of that. So,
Well, on page 11, there was an environmental health specialist lead, or lad risk, sorry, on page 11. And then there's nothing budgeted for it now.
That's the one, that was
'Cause
the
it came out of
grant.
grant.
This
That was
isn't-
grant.
Yeah, this is, oh, you're talking another page. You're
Yeah.
talking this book, I was talking this book. I'm
Oh,
like, wait a minute, this
I'm
was
sorry.
the jail
Yeah.
people.
No, the budget, yeah. But, so I don't think that food one is the environmental.
I don't think that's
Well,
environmental.
environmental health specialist, what we've recorded, they're going by the nurse salary here. So, is our food specialist a person that's like a clerical role, or are they a?
He goes out and does the permits and stuff.
Oh. So
That's
he's
what the
not a
food
clerical
specialist
role.
does? Okay.
Okay, so, I don't know that they have one
Josh?
for that in here.
Well, and I guess what I look at, the department head didn't request
Yeah.
additional monies for that, so just a
I
5%.
think we leave it at the 4 where we left it.
I don't wanna micromanage, cause I don't know the position.
Not
If
me.
if they'd asked for it,
The nurse.
Yeah, they didn't ask for
If it ain't
it.
broke, don't
See,
fix it.
this is based on nurse.
right, I just don't wanna assume
Yeah.
something, I don't wanna leave them short if they are short, but
Yeah.
if they didn't ask
They
for
did
it.
ask for, I think, a 5% on that.
Right, and we're giving them
Well,
4,
we're giving them 4.
So, see this
maybe.
Are you
If we
gonna
can.
adjust the auditor, recorder?
Mhm.
I asked about that, but then they said they were gonna wait till you went through.
That's the, I would say, that's the only positive, absolutely, I know right now that's out of whack.
Is those 2?
Well, no, yeah, they do, they got to go around.
Yeah,
and
but they don't.
Who's the highest? What's the difference between the two?
classify.
Can you get,
Probably
yeah,
keeping it something.
yeah, just give me the difference between the two, let's see where we're at.
Um,
Are they got about similar duties as far as time worked and all that?
$918.
I told them to about $1,000 difference.
Oh,
What is it? Even it out to the largest one?
yeah, just take that
That's
out,
what I,
Okay.
just take that out above us.
and that way you won't have no discrepancy.
Yeah, I won't miss it.
Okay,
Thank you.
that is everything?
I think so.
I love you all,
And-
but I'm done.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you said it, and I was like, wait.
Then I guess you need a motion to adjourn?
I need a motion to adjourn.
You got it.
Second.
Second. Motion by Gerald, second by Todd. All in favor, raise your hand. We're adjourned.
Can you get right here?
Hearing's adjourned.
It was unanimous.